I forgot to press the go live button. Fuck you, Jake. I was talking to myself. Okay, fine. Yeah, I called Constitutional Stacker. I had him on the line, Art. He'll be here about 7:20. I keep forgetting to press the fucking go live thing, obviously. No wonder interaction with the crowd wasn't that good to start with. Maybe this will stop the reflection on the glasses. Stops the reflection a little bit. Yeah, I have no green screen tonight, and if you can see that guy right there, he's underneath my blanket. That's Gandalf, and Harley, and Dixie, Silver, and Striker. The other two are in there. I'm live. Can you not see me? Can you not see me? You got me. Finn got me. I tell you what, I'm gonna do like Sal. Every time you get me, I'm gonna take a hit. I have right here. If you guys want to get up on stage, just click on that and you'll show up down here. Well, down there. Oh, I only do bowls, man. I don't like smoking paper. Either wood or my backup. Damn it. Where the hell is it? A prototype. I love this motherfucker. This thing right here is filled with weed. And this is the poker. I dig it out. Ah, shit. It's been a while since I've opened it. It's stuck. And Pachanga fresh pack, ready to go. I always have that motherfucker with me. But I smoke out of this one. This is my main one. The wood one. I mean, I got it all masher, smasher, crushed up in here. Ready to go. And that was in this form. But I mashed it all up, smashed it all up. What's the difference? Well, it's like this. I used to be a medic, and when you smoke paper, it does different things to inside your lungs. You have these little like flingy type things inside your lungs that actually grab the oxygen. And when you smoke paper over like tobacco, even though tobacco does do it too, it causes them to contract. And that's why when people smoke blunts, that's marijuana wrapped in a cigar leaf, outside of a cigar leaf, what happens is your lungs, because marijuana expands your lungs and it causes you to take in more oxygen. And like cigars, cigarettes, paper does the exact opposite. It causes your lungs to contract. So that's that way every time you smoke what's known as a blunt, you always cough. People think it's because it's good weed and whatnot. It's not. It's because you're killing your lungs. You're telling them to expand and contract at the same time because you put two things in them at once. You're putting in the paper, tobacco paper, or regular rolling paper, a paper product, and you're inhaling that into your lungs along with the weed, and the two of them do different things to your lung, causing your lungs to convulse, which causes you to cough. So that's why. Yeah, there's lots of ways. You can put it in food, you can put it in liquid, or you can smoke it. JM, what's up? I didn't see there. You coming up on stage? Who's coming up on stage? I got it tight. I got it right, right there. If anyone wants to join the Mandalorian, the Platinum Mandalorian, what's up, Will? So, what do you guys think about Bernanke, Fasco, Mali, and the other African country that did a coup? All three generals wanted to create one country. What do you think the odds are of that happening without Russia being totally backing behind all of it? I don't think those guys have the infrastructure and the intelligence infrastructure or the know-how or wherewithal to be able to have done that on their own without Russia helping them. Right on, Art. So what do you guys think is going to be coming up? No, Finn, I do kitty and doggy stuff for Christmas. Actually, I just bought the dogs and cats chicken today and fed it to them. Outside cats, outside front cats, not inside cats. And my dogs out back. I split up two chicken. Well, one chicken for each of them, basically. They ate good today. And I got them some beef. I always buy beef. About every second or third day, I give them about 3/4 of a pound to a pound of beef. I cook it up and add it along with the beef broth. I add to it, so it's like a soupy beef. I add that to their dry food and all their additives, their vitamins and shit like that I give them. And they scarf it down. Yeah, things are changing in Africa. They are not throwing off the Western. See, this is the problem. I actually have been researching Africa since, 2007, sometime around then. Because I invented this beekeeping system. It's a mobile beekeeping system. Oh, right on. You're in the basement. Cool. And I invented it around 2009, and I deployed it around here. And I was supposed to have deployed it in Africa through a nonprofit called Nsefu Wildlife in Lungwane National Park, the southeast part of Lungwane National Park in Zambia, in a small little village down there, because it's a mobile system. No one's ever created a mobile beekeeping system. So it took me like 6 years to totally invent everything and recreate and do everything, a total different style of care for the bees because it's in their mobile system and a whole different hive set up for them and everything. And it's a mobile elephant fencing system. And Zambia wanted a mobile elephant fencing system. So I invented one. And I was supposed to go down there and I learned a lot about Africa back then. And it just so happens, economics is a big thing. I learned that Zambia could be the world's third largest exporter of honey if they had my idea down there, because they have a mountain on the west coast or western side of their nation. If they could access it with a mobile apiary system, which I invented, I have in the back in my garage back there. I have the prototype. They could go in there. They've got the who was it? The UN sent down some scientists down there, some zoologists type, botanists and stuff like that. And they determined they could get 300 metric tons of honey off of that mountain with all the floral and the fruit and shit that they had. They just needed to access it. And that would have made them the third largest exporter of honey in the world. And I was working with Zambia on getting all that to happen too. So I know a lot about Africa. I actually was looking to open up a flight because Net Geo came up with this new, what are those private little small ultralight type planes, and it can go as slow as like 34 miles an hour, and it puts the person out in front. It looks like a torpedo with wings basically and a motor on the back of it, and it goes real slow, and you can go with like 34 miles an hour, so you can like really stay with wildlife and do cinematic photography from the air. And with all the new systems they have for the gyro systems and shit, you can really do some kick-ass shit. But funding was a problem, so I never went through with it. I was going to open up basically a ultralight type rental. Hey, John's here. What's up, John? Sorry I didn't see you there. So no one else. Oh, there's somebody. Sorry, JM. Sorry about that, buddy.
Hey, man. How's it going?
Now I got someone else here. Let me take that off. I have another tab open that has the YouTube setting thing. I had to mute it. What's up with you? I haven't seen any lives. What's up, man? You like make $1 million and retire or something?
No, man. I've been dealing with stuff. Ended up having to put down one of my best friend's little puppies. I think you saw that.
That's never a good thing, bro.
No, the nice little black lab out front in this picture.
Well, yeah. I had 4 rescues at the beginning of the year.
That's tough, huh?
This is Tiptoes.
Yeah.
And this is Huckleberry. They had to put him down for cancer this year. So I feel you, brother.
Dang. It's cool, though. You know, I got some really nice comments on that community post.
Yeah.
Support from people. And
the way, and I'm weird, obviously. The way and it's probably unhealthy. I've stopped doing it for dogs, but I haven't done it for cats. I'm going to, obviously. When I lose a baby, I replace them with 2. That's how I typically have done it most of my whole life.
That's pretty honorable. That's a very difficult thing to do, too.
Yeah, it is, but the need is there, and it's always there, and I do it to honor the baby I lost, because even though they leave a hole in your heart, and it'll always be there, keep passing on the love you have for animals that need someone to love them, and they can return that love, and you can keep another. Man, there's so many dogs and cats waiting for me in heaven. I'm gonna have a total, probably 1,000 dogs following me up there and 2,000 cats.
They'll all be advocating for Neil.
Yeah, pretty much, man. From the youngest age, I've always, and I wasn't obviously responsible because my dad was in the Navy, and I wasn't obviously paying the bills. So we, some of the animals we had to leave, and I wasn't real happy about, but I was a kid, so I couldn't do anything about it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I still remember all of them.
Yeah.
I don't remember all my friends, my human friends, but I remember all my animals.
Did you ever do any work with horses?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I have some kick-ass stories of horses that everyone can actually validate these horses, because the guy's got a website. He's the #1 jouster in the world. His name is Shane Adams. He has a website called the Knights of Valor. He has an ongoing jousting company where they do real live jousting.
Wow.
He is from Canada originally. He lives down in Alabama. Actually, he lives on the land that I'm going to. He's a good friend of mine. He's like 325 pounds. He's a huge son of a bitch. He's definitely Viking genes, brah. He's got blonde hair, blonde beard, mustache. Last time I saw him, it was like 2001. Was the last time I saw him. He was 325 pounds in that armor. Here's a funny story. He wears full plate mail. I used to make their jousting sticks, and what you do is they have it's just a regular certain kind of stick. I forgot the name of it. About that big around, and at the end, right where they grab it, I'd cut it, and I'd have a copper splice fitting, and I'd put both ends together, and it'd be about a 1-inch separation. So that way, when the joust hit the person, it would be like a little buffer and the breaking point, so they wouldn't get the full impact of the stick hitting their armor, and it really fuck them up. And it would cause for a great explosion of the lance, which made for good, picture taking and whatnot. I was his what do you call those? Squire. at several Ren fairs. And the Queen of England actually hired him and his joust team to go over there because when she was alive, this is like 20 some years ago, she actually paid to have him and his horses flown to England to do a jousting tournament against Spain and France, for which he won. Obviously, he's a big son of a bitch.
Well, he would require a very large horse.
Yes, he does. I was just getting to that. 16 and a half hands. The name of the horse, I'm sure it's dead now, but his number one horse at the time was known as Dragon. It was a black horse, and that son of a bitch, I mean, I couldn't look over it. I couldn't look over its shoulders. It was so fucking tall and huge. I mean, it was like, easily probably that wide at the back legs. Easily. He was a muscular. If you go to, Diet Dr. Pepper commercials, where they did the medieval commercials, where it was a Dr. Medieval Knievel, I think is what they called him. And he used to do a fake catapult thing and he'd fall off of it or something, funny things like that. Yeah. All the horses on those commercials, and it was a Dr. Pepper commercial that made national. All of those horses were Jake's commercials, or Jake's horses, and Dragon, with the black one, was on that commercial. But I rode him bareback.
Nice.
Not Jake. Shane told me, he goes, man, this horse won't let no one ride him. He'll buck you. And I looked at that horse. I was like, okay, this is a big muscular son of a bitch. He had one hell of a mane. It was beautiful. Shane really groomed this horse beautifully. And like I said, his rear end he had some thighs, right? So I said, fuck, I can ride. Shane and I are competitive. Not physically, because he could just sit on me and squish me, obviously. But he was like, I'll bet you $50 you can't get on him. I was like, I'll take that bet. I said, bareback, right? He goes, hell yeah. So I hopped on that horse, and the way his thighs were and the way your inner foot is shaped with the little curve on your foot, I was able to hook my feet right where his back legs met his body, to where when he came up, I was just in a sitting position to a squat position. And all I did was hold on to his mane and do this as the horse went up and down. He didn't even do anything but me. And Shane looked at me. He's like, you son of a bitch. I said, dinner's on you tonight, motherfucker. And after Dragon realized he couldn't buck me, he let me ride, he let me stroll around with him. And I do say he let me, because that horse was an alpha horse. He was a war horse, a special type of, not a Clydesdale, but similar to the Clydesdale, but bigger. It's a special breed of horse. Shane told me the breed, but I'd never heard of it, and I don't recall the name of the breed. But it was a special breed of horse, and he had 7 of them.
Any chance it was a Frisian?
That sounds familiar, but I can't guarantee it. But all of them were at least, the smallest one was 14 and a half hands, and the biggest one was Dragon at 16 and a half hands. They were huge horses, dude.
Check this out. I've got something.
I'm going to see him probably in a month or two. I'm flying down there to do my lightning crystal box thing, and those horses are going to be in the fucking pasture that I'm going to be in. So I'm going to be seeing those horses in a couple months. It's funny you mentioned it.
If you like horses, I think you'll love this clip that I've pulled up there on the share screen.
Okay.
And for anyone in the chat here too, I'll play this. It's Frederick the Great stallion, and I don't know if this guy would be big enough, but check this.
He's got one hell of a mane to him. No, he's too small. You can see her head.
Check out how majestic this thing is.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah, no. In about 12 live streams, I'll have the name of the horse. I'll be talking to Shane, and I'll ask him what the name is, because I'll be on his land during or the land he's staying on. Salty, what's up? Those are some nice little horsies. Olive, man.
If you want to stop it, you can remove it from stream.
No, I'm kind of liking it, bro. That's a good-looking horse, man.
I worked with a lot of horses when I was young.
For myself personally, there's what are those the the Arabian horse? They change color. They're like black and then they turn white or some shit like that or something. Or they're white and then they turn black as they get older. I've ridden those suckers too. But I like Pintos, believe it or not. Pintos, I think, are cool as shit. Yeah, it was cool.
I like that sort of thing. Very cool. I was a big fan of that movie, The Black Stallion.
Yeah, yeah. I've watched. There's several of those movies. I've watched all of them. Yeah, I like horses. That's cool. John Bethay says in his area they have every year they do a display of old farm equipment and plowing techniques. And he says they bring out the big horses. So I bet one of those farmers down there has the same style of horse that Shane has, because you need a big horse. And then another funny story, Shane, we were at this. It was a 9-day SCA, a Society for Creative Anachronisms. It's a large knights and medieval recreationists, and they leased like a 150-acre farm, and they had this 9-day event, and we were at. Shane was there with us, and there was a fight pit, and the rules of the fight pit is if you don't feel the blow, it doesn't count. So me being the smartass that I am, I was like, well, fuck, this is great. I said, Shane, let me use he had full plate mail. Shit weighed like 150 pounds. I weigh 150 pounds. So I put this stuff on, and I go out there, and everyone's looking at me like, how the hell are we going to, hit this guy? He's not going to feel anything. So this one guy kicked me, got me down on the ground, and the plate mail was so damn heavy I couldn't get off the ground. I couldn't even do a sit up. And he came up and he tapped my throat. He goes, "Now you're dead, motherfucker." I was like, "Good one, bro." And then Shane had to come pick me up because that armor was heavy. I fell over. I couldn't get up.
Well,
I screaming, "Help me! Help me! I can't get up!"
Like you got problems when your armor weighs more than you do.
No doubt. But like I said, Shane's was two plus times my weight, and it was his armor, so it was big plate mail, totally not fit for me. But that was part of the fun of the Ren Fairs for me was to do that kind of shit, or not the Ren Fair, whatever the little medieval festival thing they had going on, and that was kind of fun.
Right on.
Jake's a big meanie.
Yeah, that happens when you got lots of siblings, eh? Toughen you up.
The funny thing is, I only have one sibling. He's older than me by 3 years, and I always used to beat him up. And he turned out to be a 22-year Green Beret. He's still not tough enough to kick my ass. But I toughened him up, and he made it through training and all that shit. So that's a good thing. Yeah, so, JM, since I got you here, no one else really wants to talk about it. Have you heard? Nickel's here. Hey, what's up, Nickel?
Hey, Nickel. And everyone else.
The 3 African countries that did coups against France now want to join together to make one country? Or they're talking about?
Yep, I overheard you talking about that just before I came up on the panel.
Yeah, I find that to be so. It just smells so much of fucking Russia, because I can't see 3 power-hungry generals all wanting to give up power. Isn't this what they're asking them to do? If they're asking them to join up, 2 of them are going to have to be out, not in power. So that means someone else is pulling the strings. Because no one would suggest, hey, let's get together so that way I lose power of my country.
Right.
Yeah, it's just not a commonsensical thing to do. So there's smarter people. And since Russia just signed as a matter of fact, I can see the future so clearly. If those 3 countries come together, Bernanke, Fasco, Mali, and the other one, if they come together, their leader will be that young 34-year-old cat from Bernanke Fasci. And the reason why I say that is because he's already signed a contract with Russia to bring in a nuclear power plant into Bernanke Fasco. So he's already got tight ties with them. And someone's pulling all three of those countries' strings. And if it's Russia, he'll be the leader.
Like, to me, the reason for them to join forces like that is to get rid of the French influence, right?
Well, no. Actually, it'd be get rid of the terrorists that are crossing the national boundaries of each of them. That's been bothering them for 10 years. That's why they kicked the UN out as well, because they actually found out that after a 10-year program of the UN being down there, terrorism actually got worse, not better. And that's why they got pissed at the UN. And actually, only Bernanke Fasco and that 34-year-old leader kicked the UN out with France. And they kicked the UN out so fast, they left some of their equipment.
Yeah, Nickel.
Young kids going places, indeed, Jake. I 100% agree. He's got his shit together. The right horse is giving, the right person is giving him the proper information, and they're keeping him safe from other coups, because there's been 2 coup attempts against him that have failed, which means that obviously his backer wants him there, and some other country backed someone else and failed. You know, basic chessboard with real lives.
Once you're done taking that drag there, you may want to post the StreamYard link again and then pin it. Because when it's up in the StreamYard, on the StreamYard screen like that, people can't actually click on it. And Nickel may very well want to come up.
Now I got to find out where. Oh, no, I don't. This is the last thing I fucking copied, so. There. Now what do? Show?
Pin that son of a biscuit.
That would be the star.
Just right click on the comment.
Right click.
Yep. And it should give you the ability to pin the comment.
Ooh, not on the right click.
Yep. Or just maybe it's left click then. Could be wrong. No, you got to do it directly in YouTube, in the YouTube tab.
Fuck me. So I got to go to YouTube and do it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's not what I wanted to do.
I won't be surprised if in the future StreamYard will give you the ability to do that. Oh, Jake says it is pinned.
Okay, thank you, because I'm fucked. I don't know how to do that shit.
I don't see it pinned.
I don't either, but I don't know what that is. I didn't feel anything. So.
It's not.
Oh, wealth is coming up here. Here we go. Hold on. I see someone else here. Bachinga to a Changas.
There we go. Welcome.
Is he in?
Yeah, it may take him a minute.
Hey, good to be here.
Hey.
Greetings.
I want to turn up your volume a little bit, maybe.
My volume's low?
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
Oh, I guess I'm going to have to yell.
You can turn the microphone up if you go to settings at the bottom of your screen.
Okay.
Settings.
Then audio.
Settings, audio.
And then right at the very bottom, mic volume. Just crank it up a bit.
Automatically adjust. It's on automatic adjustment.
Yep, don't use automatically adjust, in my opinion. Just turn it up a bit. Then you should be good.
Let's see what that's like.
I had to get on here to tell Neil the real name of the country he's pronouncing.
Oh, am I fucking it up?
It's Burkina Faso.
Bernanke Fasco. I'm thinking of Bernanke, man. I'm throwing in fucking finance here, bro.
I like it though; it's entertaining. I have to say that.
You know, when the words, you know, have fun with it, right? If you can't say it right. So what is it again?
Burkina Faso.
Burkina.
And the reason I know that is there's a lot of gold in Burkina Faso.
And that's another thing I wanted to talk about. If those three countries get together as far as GDP and natural resources, they basically push South Africa off the fucking board. they'll be the next South Africa. And sorry, Jake, they're not part of BRICS, but they are backed by Russia, but an independent play by Russia, which means Russia's not too concerned about BRICS either. Just my opinion, Jake. Jake and I have something going. He loves BRICS, and I like steel. Burkina. Well, hey, if you mix up all the letters of Burkina, you get Bernanke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you can see where the dyslexia comes in.
You get a screwed up financial system as well.
With the country.
Yeah. Well, I think of Ben Bernanke and I think of chaos.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, if you look at Burkina Faso, actually not now, because the guy straightened it out. From my understanding, he canceled all contracts for all the precious metals and all the resources, and then redid stuff to where it's beneficial to people, which I am 100% behind everything that Cat's done for his people. I mean, it's 100%. I'm 100% behind him. You know, fuck the companies. And fuck our gold price and our uranium price, man. That country deserves to make profit off of their resources. Bottom line, if it costs us more money, so be it. You know, they deserve what everyone else gets. The price of gold they were getting, the price of uranium. Oh my God, the price of uranium they were getting like 80 cents, and then once they kicked France out, they renegotiated it back up to $200. I was like, holy fuck, you guys were totally getting screwed, and France was giving it to you hard. So yeah, get rid of France for sure. And they were raping that country, and that's not good business.
That's interesting. I hadn't heard that the three countries were trying to get together and form one nation. That's, as you mentioned, that's unusual.
It's only a talking point that they've come up with. There's nothing official yet, but you tune into Neil's On Dynasty because I keep you up to date in the most latest and recent information.
Yeah, I think you posted that earlier today or yesterday.
Yeah, I probably did. And then that one guy who fucking blew himself up with those grenades.
Yeah. So what do they do? If the three nations become one, what do they do? Draw straws and figure out what general gets to lead?
That's what I was talking about, and that was what tells me that Russia's behind all three of those coups, because it's not going to. It shouldn't be that peaceful between generals. And that just became in control of their countries.
So like they sell out to Russia then? Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is Russia backed those coups and made them logistically feasible, because they don't have the logistics down there to do that. And what the logistics is intelligence, knowing who's who and where who is at what time to be able to do what to whom at the proper time. That's logistics. And not many countries have that. And that's why no coup has been successful. But to have three of them all at once, now all three of them talking about, actually, I think there was five, not three. There was five of the seven French colonial states down in Africa had coups. Only three of them just yesterday, I think, started last night, our time last night. I heard first of it. Just started discussions to become one country. And for that to happen, their puppet master has to make it happen. That means those coups were definitely major country backing, and China does not have the ingredients it takes. The only one is Russia. And since where's the name of that country again? Bernanke Faso. Okay, I got the wrong name. Burkina Faso. Since they signed a deal with Russia to have a nuclear power plant built in their country, I imagine Putin's backing the 34-year-old, even though he also probably backed the others. Because like I said, the logistics of taking a coup doesn't take much for that. To make a successful coup takes a lot of logistics, and you need a lot of intelligence and on-time intelligence that only satellite intelligence can give you. Because down in that area of the country, America has an oil pipeline, and we have a base with 5,000 troops and a Department of Defense operation, which is separate of the military in that country as well. So we had our hands deep in the information going on there. So for them to successfully pull that off and not alert our troops and our people down there, it had to be an adversary that's unmatched other than by us, and that's only Russia.
I've got a fun drinking game. So every time Neil mispronounces Burkina Faso, we need to take a drink.
Uh-huh.
You guys are going to be drunk. Shit, I need to go back and see the word again.
And since we're on that topic, I thought I'd let you know, Wealth of Nations, I also found Neil mispronouncing a different African country as well.
Was that
In a
Niger?
recent video, he was pronouncing it Nambia.
Oh, Nambia. Yeah, I heard that one as well. I'm like, Nambia, where's that? Oh, Neil must mean Namibia.
Yeah, that one.
I had to look it up too. I was like,
Namibia. Yeah. Those man, try learning Swahili. Yeah, that one's 30 for a freaking noob. Like I said, when I was going to be going to Africa, I actually learned a little bit of Swahili.
We got to slow Neil down, or I'm going to get drunk.
I mispronounce all those African names, man. I'm surprised I remembered the national park in Zambia I was supposed to go to. Now those ones I pronounced correctly, and that was Lingwane.
I don't usually give in to peer pressure anymore, so I just sip at my own pace.
I never give a fuck about peer pressure.
I used to. Ended up having a lot of fun giving into it, but in the long run, it's a dead end.
Always make the party work.
After a while, your body rebels against peer pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I always dance to a tune of a different drummer, I guess. Like I always when I was back east as an iron worker, me and my connecting partner would go from state to state, city to city. And sometimes it'd be like week 2 in between jobs. We just drive around and see what the hell was out there and do whatever. And one night we needed a hotel, so it was in South Carolina or North Carolina. And I remember it was on top of a hill. It was a Holiday Inn. And we get in there, first place. I was drinking back then, so the first thing we do is we go to the bar, and they had glass. And I looked down and I saw volleyball nets, and I asked the waitress, I was like, "What the hell's up with?" It was like Thursday night, and I'm like, "What the hell's up with that? Why don't you have the lights on and shit?" And they were like, "Oh, well, because no one's going to be down there, blah, blah, blah." And there's this waitress walking around, had Jello shots, had 30 of them on the tray. So I said, "Check this shit out." I said, "You turn those damn lights on that volleyball court, throw me and my partner a couple balls. We're going to go down there and play." And then I threw down $60. I said, "I want 2 of those trays down there, those Jello shots." I said, "I guarantee you we're going to have a party down there." And then me and Paul went down there. We took our shirts off, started fucking doing this back and forth. Man, within 20 minutes, there was over 30 people down there having a hell of a good time. Because my thing is, if I'm going to be there, I'm going to make the party. It doesn't matter where there is. If it's not happening, I'll make it happen. And, that's how everyone should be. Everyone would have a good time everywhere then. I was at Costco today, man. The line got hella long. I started having a good time in the line in Costco. People were looking at me like I was crazy. I didn't give a shit. A lot of people were laughing, having a good time. A lot of people thought I was a nut. I don't care. Give them all something to talk about. Hey, what's up, Anti? Constitutional. Is it that time already? Holy shit, it's 7:30. Yeah, I told y'all, Ninja might not be showing up because he had a flight he was on, and I think it might have got delayed a little bit. And it was in Montana, about 4.
Or he could be short on supplies. He may be short on pizza boxes.
True there. I need to hook him up with Jake, our Pizza King. I think I actually talked Jake into starting to learn how to make his own pizzas. He buys so damn many of them.
I think Ninja would have to shut down his channel if they stopped supplying him with pizza boxes.
I'm surprised YouTube let him grow and get to 440,000 subs on the Economic Ninja.
He's done pretty good.
Yeah.
Man, he was at 339 for like 2 months. Didn't move. I was like, damn, dude, I got subscribers, bro. What's up with you, bro? Yeah, like I was just saying, Constitution, Ninja was taking a plane from Montana, and it was delayed, and I don't know how much it was delayed. He did a little 10-minute live stream at the airport. That's how I know he got delayed, because he wouldn't do a live stream unless something happened, because he'd be on time.
The other thing too is once you've got a large channel like that, you can say something that rubs 10% of the people watching the wrong way, or you can do a video
Oh,
that
easily. Yeah, he didn't get to his channel so far without having to block a lot of people, and for just being jerks and stuff. No one can get that big and not have to block people permanently, or the trolls or the bots that they've thrown in.
Hey Neil, since we're having fun pronouncing African country names, pronounce the country that Ethiopia is going to take over.
Oh shit, dude. You got me on that one. Everyone get ready. Hold on. I'll even go to the map and I'll even look at it and still get it fucking wrong. Yeah, but it's cool. They need to take it if they want waterfront. I can't deny them that, but getting me to pronounce it properly. Okay, let's see. It's Eritrea.
Close.
Eritrea.
Close. Eritrea.
Eritrea. Okay. Yeah, Djibouti. That's a fun one. Because I think on the other side of Africa, they have a Djibouti.
I think that's the Djibouti is. I think is how it's pronounced
Oh, is that how the one on the East Coast is pronounced?
on the East Coast. Yeah.
I thought they had a separate country called Djibouti, but they got Togo, Ghana.
I see that country name and it makes me think back to KC and the Sunshine Band.
Shake them, Djibouti. Yeah, for real. And a funny thing, man, this is the dude. I still must be too rowdy. I'm thinking to this day. I hear shit about Yemen and what the fuck they're doing, and I'm like, dude, give me 15 guys and some logistical supports and the weapons I want. I'll take all them motherfuckers out. You'll never see them again. Why are you still dealing with these fuckers? They're in little fucking speedboats and shit.
Yeah, that's a good question you ask on one of your posts today or yesterday about, hey, how are they able to operate with 5 military bases in Djibouti?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, right freaking there. And it's all set up. It's a setup. I mean, there's absolutely no denying it's all set up. It's staged. It's being allowed to happen to change our perspective on something that they want to happen, and it's happening right in front of us. It's
That's
happening.
a tough neighborhood. You have Somalia on one side and Yemen on the other side of the Red Sea.
And both are so fucking broke ass poor. Again, one special operations team just keeps supplying me, man. We won't stop till they're all dead. It doesn't take. It won't. It wouldn't be hard. They're small fractions. They're not even fucking tied together. You just go in and they're tribal. You can't take out the fucking warriors of the tribes and go to the next tribe. Take them out. Next one. Take them out. Next one. Take them out. Boom. They have no people. Doesn't matter if they have money or not. But sorry. That's what I think I'm weird because I keep having those thoughts. It'd be like so fucking easy to do. Why don't we just do that? Stop all this bullshit. We're allowing it. We want it to happen is why. That's the only conclusion I've come up with.
I think when we're young, we always ask the question, hey, why don't we just change this or that? And I think the reason in large measure is somebody always profits from the status quo.
Someone already signed a contract making money going the way it's going.
Yep.
Yeah, they're going to get paid before it changes. Whatever that is, whatever their pay is.
10% for the big guy.
Yeah, yeah. I gotta.
Gosh, I'd like to have the money the little guy spent on pros. Did you see how much Hunter spent on professional services, so to speak?
Let's not get onto that because people could get strikes for talking about this stuff.
Okay.
And I don't have any strikes right now, and my last one was taken away November, so I've only been strikeless on my channel for a month.
Everything on this channel is for pure entertainment.
Thank you very much. Yes, it's for pure entertainment. We need to come up with code names, or something, but not use something that one of these beautifully sweet censors that will allow us all the free speech we want to hear and censor us with our free speech.
You could run one of those disclaimer banners if you want, Neil.
You guys should see this. You seeing Dixie right here? Where is she? Where is she? That right there. She's like fighting with fucking Silver. That's funny. If you hear them
Silver,
yell, it's those two. They're fighting each other.
Silver's getting big.
Yeah, and Little Man isn't. Striker's not. Striker's staying small. I knew he was a dwarf when I picked him up. And yeah, I'm gonna have to get him fixed here shortly because they're gonna start spraying, and I can't have that. That stuff's no good. Have fun with him right now, Dixie. His nuts are gonna get cut soon.
So Anti-Adjack's got a interesting question. Tell me why anyone should pay $3 over book Monday for 10-ounce bars of silver.
3 hours over book, over
$3.
spot.
Did I say hours? I meant dollars.
One reason is it used to be $6 or $7 over spot.
Yeah, $3 over
Yeah.
spot doesn't sound that bad actually.
No, it doesn't. That sounds like base metal.
Yeah,
Not even eagles or silver maples.
It's still not back down to before 2020, but there's some decent deals out there. 3 over spot's actually not too bad, I think.
I need to. I've already got. It's going to happen as soon as I make a commercial for platinum. Andy Scheckman will be giving me a discount code for platinum, not for silver, not for gold, for platinum. I told him specifically for platinum. I've been talking with Chris Marcus, and he's talking with Andy. I haven't spoken with Andy directly at all. I deal with Chris, and he said he's going to get me a. He said this is the way he said it. Oh, Neil, I'm sure we'll work you up a special deal for platinum. That's what he said. So in the next
special deal,
huh?
A special deal.
Yeah, special deal just for platinum. And so I'll have a discount link if you guys ever want to buy some platinum here in the next month. My neighbor next door, his wife's a producer, and they're going to help me make a commercial, a little 20-second commercial for platinum.
I'm looking at SD Bullion, and a 2023 American Silver Eagle right now is $7 over spot.
Yeah, so $3 is good.
Yeah, that's the base metal usually.
Oh, someone's giving a special deal on the 10-ounce bar. Is what it is, and they're offering it for $3 over.
Yeah, I mean a kilo oftentimes is $2, $2.50, $2.90. So $3 for 10 ounces. That doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah, like I remember before 2020, a lot of the bullion dealers had buy a 10-ounce bar at spot as an introductory offer. And it wasn't that difficult to find it at $2 over spot for 10-ounce bars.
Yeah. So the 10-ounce bar, like the lowest cost bar on SD Bullion, is $269.81, which is really you divide that by 10. That's really $3 over spot. So that's not too bad.
That isn't bad at all.
The problem is if you go to sell it, chances are you're only going to get spots. So you got to
Sure.
And that's why you should hold your shit for a while.
That's why you stack it and forget it.
Exactly. Stack and forget. Exactly, Anti. He says if you buy platinum, Neil will tell you to buy more, and you're 100% correct. This platinum is ridiculously low.
I think all the metals are low.
So Constitutional say
No, they're not. Gold is not low.
I think it is.
Gold is at its all-time high.
Not relative to how much currency and
Oh no, that's reevaluating price. Now it is possible. Ralphie had this thumbnail $35,000 gold, and that sounds cool. And yeah, you can make a lot of money, whatever. But that's only a 15x. You know what silver did last time we were in a stagflationary environment? It 35x'd. So money being money, would you rather 15x or 35x?
Obviously 35. I don't think gold's going to do that, but
I didn't watch it because I knew it was a clickbait thing, but it is possible because they do want to reevaluate it. So they could, the manipulators could allow it to go that high in working with the people who want to reset to avoid a war, because the only way you get a reset is through a war. So they could try and work it, a start to just allow the price to go up for a type of reset. That is a possibility. I'm not saying it is going to happen, but it's a possibility it could happen.
Constitution.
I doubt it. It's not that high of a possibility, but it is a possibility.
Constitutional's saying SD Bullion's prices are jacked. So what would 10 ounces of silver be at? I think you mentioned Monument. You mentioned
gold.
How much would they be? Constitutional.
And actually, we were talking about Andy Sheckman before. He frequently has some of the best deals going if you watch the shows that he's on when he's running his specials. But it'll just be on one thing, like it'll be kangaroos, or just it'll be limited items that have a real special deal.
But he always offers a good deal, and I don't know. I kind of like the guy. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, I like Andy. I like Elijah. I've dealt with Elijah. The one thing I prefer, though, I prefer to be able to just go online and order, and not have to call somebody up.
Yeah, that's how I do it too. I just put my order in online. Actually, I don't talk to anyone.
Yeah, with Andy, you have to talk to one of the three. Elijah, his brother, or Dunnigan.
Apparently, I haven't bought from them before. We're talking about doing a commercial. Oh, what the fuck, right?
They do have a good reputation. The only thing where I've heard their reputation being tarnished is just because they're in sales. And so obviously they're going to give you a sales pitch, and that rubs some people the wrong way.
Everyone's trying to make money, man. And bottom line is you sacrifice one thing for another when it comes to price. Either their shipping method will take twice as long because they use a different type of shipping method, or security of how they ship it. Or there's always, because they're all trying to make money. And what you need to look for is find, like what fucking Andy Sheckman does. He one thing's on sale, and that's probably the cheapest you're going to find it. That's going to be your cheapest. Yeah. Now, if you're looking for something specific, you've already taken the bait, hook, line, and sinker. Sorry, you're suckered now. You're going to pay what they want you to because you want something specific. Yeah. That's the name of business. If you just go in for silver, going for the best deal, look for the best deal and get that silver. If you want
one thing that gave Andy a lot of credibility with me was when Silver Eagles were in the mid 30s. He was actually advising people not to buy them and to buy Philharmonics, the things with the lower premium. So that did give him points with me. But like I say, I prefer not to have to call in an order like they require.
Yeah. One thing that did it for me with Andy is a lot of these other guys, when these shows were asked about platinum, they're like, Rick Rule and Bill Holter, they're like, cool. And I was expecting the same when Dunnigan, I pushed Dunnigan, he asked him for me. And Andy, he answered honestly. He goes, I really don't know much about it. It's not a main focus. It's a real small part of our business. So I don't know a lot about it. And his honesty is what got me, because if you find someone that's honest, you can do business with them because they're honest. So if you can find a person that's honest, fuck, and that's a diamond in the rough. In my opinion, because nowadays people lie to you for a business deal.
Well, Andy's open-minded about it. These other guys were not even open-minded. They just kind of objected and rejected your offer. I think they're smart to sell platinum as well. I think you're ahead of the curve with it.
Yeah, I usually am, and I think it'll benefit me if I start doing sales. I'm gonna put you down, big silver. So this is silver. He's getting big. Look at this guy. Oh, stretch me out, Daddy.
Good looking there, Neil.
Get it for you.
Hey, he's a good guy. He talks too much. But yeah, I think I'll do pretty good. Just sticking with. I could probably make more money doing silver and platinum, but you know, I've always been. You know, everyone sells silver, pushes silver. I seem to be the only one pushing platinum, so I'm just going to stick with that.
Constitutional saying 10 ounce, I don't know how it's pronounced, nadir for $1.35 over spot. That's pretty good.
You know, again, mindset and everyone's perspective being different. I mean, I understand people pinching pennies, and that's cool. I mean, it's a good perspective to have, looking for the deal and all. But if you step back and look at silver, instead of looking for the deal in silver, look at silver as the deal. Whatever the price is right now, it's the deal. Again, I go back to when we had a stagflationary environment back in the early 70s, silver 35x'd it. So at $25 now, the potential of it even 10xing it would put it at 250. So anything under $30 is a steal. Yeah. And that way you feel better, you sleep better at night. You're not saying, oh shit, I got screwed out of $2 an ounce, you know, and it just, your psyche's more clear to think of things that are more important other than that. Because in the long run, silver, it's gonna blow all of our minds just by the sheer digit number. But the percentage is going to be the exact same as the circumstances of last time. So we shouldn't be astonished by it. But the number will be the astonished part, because back then it went from like $1.25 to $35 or something like that.
John mentions that he buys from SD, but only with the salespeople on the phone. John, why do you do that? Do you get better deals? Do they mention things that you wouldn't see on the website? Yeah, if you could type that in, that'd be interesting.
It'd be nice if someone gave veterans benefits. Discount vets. Because hell, fuck, our government, I think, got $250,000 for me going over there in 91. Saudi paid America, and I don't know if you people know this, they paid like $9 billion to send American forces over there in that coalition forces. The Bush administration got paid like $9 billion for sending us there. We didn't get the money. The government did, or our government did.
Yeah, what does that tell you?
Right. I kind of felt like shit knowing I was making $1.75 a fucking hour.
Thanks for the link to Bold Constitutional.
That's when you psych yourself out and you fucking put inside yourself that you're a patriot and you're not doing it for money and blah, 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 blah. And then after you get out, you find out BlackRock comes around and offers you $50,000 a month. It's the same thing you were doing for $1,400 every 2 weeks. It's like, what? Private armies pay better than the public armies.
What's up with BlackRock too? Like now I keep hearing about Blackstone, and it's like BlackRock.
Yeah, they keep changing.
Our brothers.
If you're hearing about it, don't worry about them. They're the ones they want you to hear about.
Right.
That's all you need to know. If you're hearing about it, there's no big deal. There's somewhere else. You'll probably find something worthwhile.
If it has black in the beginning of the name, it's probably one of the oligarchs. Just make a middle note.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, rhodium. What is it now? 14,000 an ounce.
What's the metal, Neil?
Rhodium. 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 Yeah. Rhodium.
Gotta have another slip.
Rhodium.
I'm your streaming word check.
You're goddamn English teachers, what you are.
No, I'm not supposed to be able to spell. I'm an engineer,
Oh, right on. What kind of engineer?
chemical.
Oh, right on.
Sweet.
Oh, it's only 5,000 now. A couple months ago, it was like 14,000. That's why people don't. You shouldn't. I don't know. You know, I know people who bought it at like 3,000, and when it was at 16,000, they tried to sell it, and no one would fucking buy it. And at swings like that, I can understand it because you're losing a crap load of money if you buy it at like even 15, and then it drops to 10. You're like, there goes $5,000. So yeah, you will have problems selling that one. But the way platinum's working, like last time it went up to like 1170, then it dropped back down to the nines. So if it goes up to 14, people will still buy it. And it just keeps doing that number. Because again, JM showed on his program the 100-year chart of platinum and gold, and clearly platinum stayed above until around the time South Africa joined BRICS and an economic war was started. And then there was a lot of this on both gold and platinum. And then it was inverted for the first time ever. You know, that's, I mean, 100-year chart, that's not natural. It never happened until that time, till 11, 12 years ago. It was unchartable territory. And now we're looking at it like a norm, and it's not. Platinum is still twice the price of gold. It's just someone's manipulating it. And if you look at it like that, you find out who is creating or mining most of the platinum, and you find out what that country's done. And then in this case, it's South Africa. Well, look in the history of South Africa. Who have they, you know, what rocks have they turned over? And then you start seeing, you know, an economic scenario where they're being forced to lose money because of improper management and unknowledgeable leadership. And it's all intentional. It's called an economic war because it costs $1,200 to mine $1,230 to mine an ounce. So anything lower than that, they're losing money. You know, they only have so big of a war chest before they go bankrupt. And I'm sure if the price of platinum doesn't go up above $1,300 or $1,400 by April, Impala Mines, the second largest platinum miner on this planet, will be claiming bankruptcy because a month and a half ago, they started asking their employees to do voluntary layoffs with severance packages, which means they're not going to be hiring them back anytime soon. Let's put it together, people. What's that mean? Second largest platinum miner on the planet. Fixing to go out of business.
Thanks for joining, Dregs.
Oh, hey, what's up, that guy? That's a cool name. There's this dude called Over Here. I always fuck with him. Like, hey, over here, I'm over here. I find it funny. I don't think he does, but. So back on that African three countries being one, what do you guys think? I gave you my opinion, and no one gave me theirs.
Which Neil was it? It was Burkina Faso. What other two? Mali and Niger.
Mali, and I'm not sure of the third one off the top of my head.
It's probably Niger.
Yeah. I am unfamiliar. I know I'm looking at the African general who's leading them. He's a darker skinned guy with a mustache, and he's the smaller of all three of them, but I don't even recall his name. But I'm seeing a picture of him in my head right now.
I would say I think it's improbable.
Again, right off the top of my head, I have no clue, and I don't even want to look. All I know is all three of them are together. It's just very convenient. That's all I'm saying. Because all three of those countries are border countries, and all three of them have a coup. All three of them were part of fucking France's colonial project, you know, for stealing of resources, uranium. I think they just signed a deal for like fucking millions of tons of uranium. Who was that? I think it was Burkina Faso. I'm gonna have to research that one. one of those countries just signed a deal for uranium. And you are right, wealth nations. One of those countries is very, very wealthy in gold. And looking at South Africa has been losing money in their gold mining industry, and they're losing money in their platinum industry. So I'm thinking there's going to be another leader in Africa. And if those three countries get together and they've got that kind of resources, they might be taking over South Africa's ruling dominion over the continent of Africa, quite possibly. And that would put it in Russia's hands.
The only thing I see on what you mentioned, Neil, is Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali have announced they're withdrawing from the international force known as G5 that it was set up to fight Islamists in the Sahel region.
Yeah, they already, what was it? Oh, fuck. Say that again?
Okay, now I see. Well, there's one from September 18th. Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger signed a mutual defense pact deal.
Yeah, all three of those countries just signed a
I see it.
deal to protect
I see it
themselves
now.
because of the terrorism activity that the UN was supposed to be stopping, escalated in all three of those countries. And they realized that they have to share military resources because those fucking terrorist cells have gotten so large. So yeah, they signed that like a month ago, I think. A common, or no, maybe 2.5 weeks ago. A common defense signature where they all their armies are considered one. If you attack them, if you attack one, you attack all, or if one attacks, all attack, kind of thing. Kind of like Three Musketeers, one for all for one.
Yeah, I see the article from December 6th. I posted it into the chat. That's interesting.
Yeah, no, and that's the first part of apparently. Now, see, this is the funny thing. All of these guys do these coups. Now, how logistically set up were they to do these coups if they're already talking about different country cooperation on a military level? Do you know the sophisticated logistics needed for that? Again, I think it's totally Russian backed, and it's, for me, plain as day to see, and I'm surprised not everyone sees it and says, oh, that's Russia's fucking coup. But that's just, whatever.
Nickel mentioned Gaddafi trying to unite Africa, and he had a outcome. But I also heard there's another theory on that, and it was he wanted to go to gold.
Well, the funny thing about Saddam Hussein and Gaddafi that people overlook is both of them went to the same College of War in Georgia, and that would be the United States of America, Georgia. College of War at Fort Bragg or Fort Benning, not quite sure what fort. And they were taught how to be coup leaders by America. So they were American pawns. So it was a strategic move against both of them that happened. It was already pre-planned, pre-designated, pre-laid out. Everything was done for a purpose. So when Saddam Hussein created those hundreds of billions of dollars of counterfeit $100 bills that apparently no one in the news talked about, which is one reason why we went after him, supposedly, all of that was to skew the Americans to vote certain ways that the people in charge wanted us to vote, because both Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein basically are like Ukraine. They were paid by America. We paid everything. We taught them everything. So,
after the Iranian Revolution, Iraq was one of our assets to be a thorn in the side of Iran.
And that's why we put Saddam Hussein there. And we put him there because he was our guy. We trained him. He was an American. He was our guy. So just like the leaders of those three coup nations are Russian guys. Same thing. It's just a chessboard with human lives and human nations. But it's America and Russia. There's no room for China. No room for India right now. But definitely no room for China.
So, Nickel, who do you think Saddam gave the weapons of mass destruction?
What weapons?
Nichols says, guess who gave Saddam the weapons of mass destruction?
He didn't have any weapons. We didn't give him any. That was all bullshit. Because if he had them, he would have used them. Did he use them? Here's another good question. What about his Purple Army? Wasn't they supposed to be like the third toughest army in the world or some shit like that? And from my recollection,
the Republican Guard was supposed to be
Republican Guard. Yeah, there's like 300,000 of them. We never faced one of them. What's up with that? No one questions that either. I know what's up with it, but no one questions. No one.
I guess they were the Rhino Guard.
Yeah, I called them the Purple Guard, the Royal Guard, the fucking whatever you called them.
That was a play on words, Republican in name only. They were Rhino, the Rhino Guard.
Yeah. They were real stupid. I do know that. As far as strategically thinking, they thought the same as what the Hamas, and it works for Hamas in where they're at because it's such a small contained area. But the Purple Army thought that the same theory: dig yourself in, wait till they pass over and come out. And what they didn't think of is when they open the doors to come out, that there's so much sand in there that they'll never be able to come out. Bye-bye. Not one bullet wasted, just a whole bunch of bulldozers and sand.
Just so you know, Neil, Anti-Atjack had posted a link. I put it in the private chat there for you. He wanted me to mention it to you. It's for veterans. Places where veterans can get discounts.
Well, I'm going to check that out for show. And I'm also going to see if the discount that I get from Miles Franklin will be better than that price just for platinum. I hope like hell that my stature as the platinum guru guy will earn everybody the right to have a cheap as cheap access as possible to probably fractional platinum, because there's more people that can't afford $1,000 than can. Much less 2,000. And then you know by price what I'm talking about. 2,000 being gold, 1,000 being platinum. I mean, hell, even a 10th ounce gold coin is going to run you like $240, where a 10th ounce platinum coin will probably run you $130, $120. So price wise, and silver even a better deal than that as far as price wise. As far as you don't make 200,000 a year, you only make like 30,000 a year. That's another reason why I say buy silver and platinum, because gold is just for the real person. We're already slaves. We're already poor. Because if you go back to 1933, 90% of Americans had gold in their pocket. How many people can afford to have gold, not just 1 ounce, but 2 or 3 ounces in their pocket? Not that many, not 90%. So that right there should tell you the buying power and the wealth of the citizen has been diminished within 90 years to the point where we're probably at 10% of what we were. Best hopeful, thoughtful case scenario. So don't think too hard. It's depressing.
Well, I think the number is the dollar has declined by 92%.
That's the dollar. Dollar's only been that they're talking about when that statistic you're talking about, wealth. That's since 1971, and that's the fiat dollar. The dollar has changed like 4 or 5 times since 1933.
I think it's 1913, Neil. 92%.
What was that?
I think it's 1913. That's too much to be 71. It's lost a lot since 71, but
no, that's when we came up with where the fiat dollar that we're using today was invented in 1971.
Oh, understood. Well,
and the buying power of that dollar started at like 98%, because they probably stole 2% off the bat, and it was designed for 100 years at about a 2% inflation. The dollar that we have in our pocket right now, and that's why it's not what's known as a silver certificate, which is what we'd have before then. This dollar right here is it's an IOU note. It was designed to last 50 years and then go away. So we're supposed to be looking forward to another something other than this. It's by design. It's supposed to happen. So I don't see why everyone's freaking out. It's by design. It's supposed to happen. They know it. The only ones that don't know it are the people that don't know it. And I don't know the reason they don't know it is because they're not interested in their finances, I guess. But yeah, 1913 is when the central bank started here in America and didn't get kicked out. But the dollar system that we're using now, not backed by gold, backed by oil, came around in 1971. And that dollar is like at 2% of its buying power by design. And that's why I don't understand why people are freaking out saying, oh, my dollar's not worth that much. Well, no shit. It's by design. And look at it throughout the years. I remember picking up Coke bottles because they were glass back then, and knowing that 5 cents could get me some bubble gum. Now that can won't get you bubble gum. You need 10 of those cans to get you some bubble gum. Inflation, or deflating of the dollar, making the value of you and my lives less by giving us some benefits of technology to make our lives easier while making us in reality poorer as a nation and people, accepting the poorness of ourselves. And it's not right, because like I said, back in 1933, good 90% of Americans walking on the street had gold in their pockets. How many Americans nowadays can afford? Now, by what I mean by afford is after their bills are paid and they're take their wives out and all the shit, and they have extra money and to have gold in their pocket. How many Americans today can do that? Because 90% of Americans 100 years ago did that. So they were a hell of a lot wealthier than we are today, and we think we're better off.
Oh yeah,
They got us totally fucked. They got us totally fucked.
Back when we were kids, a milkman could have a wife, 3 kids, a house. You can't do that these days.
Like I said, they've got us financially. We're screwed by the system that we've been using for the past 100 years. It has literally enslaved us financially. And we're happy today about it because we don't realize that we're actually poor. 100,000, 200,000 a year. If you don't have all of your bills paid, money in the bank, and still have a couple gold or a couple silver and gold in your pocket to spare, you are not better off than people were in 1933. I don't care how much you're making. If you don't have it like that, you ain't better off than the people 100 years ago. That sucks. But yet we been conditioned that being normal, and that, at 200,000 we are better off, even though we don't have what they had in 1933, financial security.
The $64,000 question is, how far down the road can they kick the can before the dollar crashes?
That's where I'm, man, yeah, that's the big fucking, that's the exact $64,000 question, because that breaks all the fucking $64,000 questions. It breaks the housing, it breaks everything. Or can they have separate little bubble blow-ups that to distract us while they keep kicking the can down the road? They got a lot of bubbles to blow up. If they don't all blow up at once and they string them out, they can string it out for years. Who knows, man?
Auntie, Jack, to your point, the interesting thing was when income taxes were introduced, they were supposed to be temporary.
So, well, yeah, it's and if you look at the Social Security Administration, the Social Security card, and the New Deal, you'll find out that under the Constitution, separate from the Social Security Administration Act, under the Constitution, only firearm, tobacco, and alcohol manufacturers can be taxed. Citizens cannot be taxed.
But he's actually asking how did they build the infrastructure, and how did they run the country without taxes prior to that?
Oh, well, they had tariffs. They had tariffs.
The same, and they have those today too. See, the thing they have now that they didn't have then is greedy politicians who have bridges to nowhere, allow gambling, casinos to pop up everywhere because they get paid to have this done, and all this money gets funneled out and we don't ask enough questions of our government to find out where the money's going. That's why toilet seats in the government cost $600, hammers cost $400, because there's so much massive theft, fraud, and debauchery going on that we've allowed to happen. We haven't cleaned our house in so damn long that we are filthy. The white dress America used to have on is coated with black. It's been ran over so damn much. It needs to be washed.
Well, and
JM,
technically,
thanks for clarifying that. I think the federal government, before it got so bloated, I think was almost exclusively run off of trade tariffs, and then in terms of state and local, it was property taxes. So
That's why when America first started, only property owners could vote because they were the only ones being taxed.
well, yeah. I mean, you don't want somebody. The problem we have now is people
People that don't have the money are voting about people that have the money.
they can vote themselves benefits, and that'll bankrupt
Yeah.
the Treasury,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
our
And that's
founding
what's happened.
our
And that's
founding fathers predicted that. That's why they wanted a republic.
Yep. And there is something to the property ownership thing, but the way the tax system is now supposedly more fair. They've convinced us it's fair because they're taxing everybody. Now the poor guy feels good that the rich guy's getting taxed when they don't realize that all of us are getting fucked.
well, and
You
technically,
guys been good.
I think the government could issue currency that's just backed by the assets of the nation without having to borrow it from a central bank like the Federal Reserve.
I 100% agree with you, and I think the last administration that we had believes that as well, because
You
they
talked
stated
about that
whatever
last
$61
stream,
trillion.
Neil. I said you talked about that last stream, Neil. You mentioned $60 trillion.
Yeah, $61 trillion worth of resources under our feet here in America.
Well, and I like Neil's idea of literally running it like a corporation, and
Yeah,
the currency.
every American
currency
citizen
is-
is a shareholder. We get
Well, the
paid.
currency
we don't
effectively is a share, so it's
You
equity
still have
rather than
taxes, you still have tariffs, you still have the other stuff, but every American citizen gets paid revenue from the shale oil mines in the fucking north, and same with Canada, in our northwest and Canada's southwest. We have more oil. We're going to last the next 100 years. We're going to be selling oil to the whole nation, to the whole world. We could be selling them in our dollar, guaranteed that our dollar will be backed by petro. Yeah, American petro, and America's going to get all the profit, which means the American people should get all the profit, or the Canadian people should get all the profit, not government or corporate, or not the corporation. And the government should pay shareholding fees to every citizen for the revenue that we were born. And hey, it comes down to birth. But you know what? You got to be racist somehow. So if you were born in America, then America. If you're born in Russia, then well, they don't see it that way. That's why we have different governments.
Pat Jack had an interesting comment responding back to my comment about tariffs, and he mentioned tariffs weren't used on infrastructure. But if you think about infrastructure, the railroads were private. Most of the major highways early on, they were privately funded. So a lot of
And
the
that's how America
infrastructure
started.
was private.
Private business.
Yeah.
Private business started the infrastructure, not the government.
You'd have private toll roads early on.
Do you guys
That's why you had land barons. Whichever way the railroad went, whoever owned the town had the power of that state.
Do you guys think that oil is a renewable resource, meaning that it kind of regenerates?
Naturally occurs in the earth because the earth rotates and has a heat and produces everything able to make that happen. Why wouldn't we think that?
Or, for any reason at all? The reason I ask is because I've been
Well-
hearing that it is.
Well, it's interesting that you're bringing up the debate of whether it's a fossil fuel or not, right, JM?
Yeah, I guess it could be. I didn't mean to bring it up that way. It's just I've been hearing from a few people that it regenerates, and that so when Neil said, we've easily got 100 years, like people are saying it's not quite infinite, but close to infinite.
I can let me say something to change everyone's possible perspective on where they believe oil might have come from. If you believe, as we were taught, that oil is decayed dinosaur bones and shit like that, why the hell do we have fossils? Did only half of the dinosaurs turn into oil and the other half turn into fossils? Think about it. We've been lied to. Look at a centrifuge. See what happens with centrifuges. The center of our planet is a centrifuge. We know this for fact. It's spinning fast. It's hot. Now, let's look at what happens when you spin things and make them hot and keep adding new material to them. What happens? It keeps making different material, the same different material of the material that you feed it. That's the tectonic plates. They even say this in geography and geology or whatever the fuck it is when you learn about tectonic plates and how one sits on top of another, and that type of tectonic plate pushes one on top of the other. Well, the one that gets pushed on top of gets pushed down into that molten hot center of ours and gets remelted down. Anything that's in it, whatever's in it, gets melted down. So if this is happening,
are they German plates?
Huh?
Are they German plates?
What plates?
Teutonic plates.
No, I think they're Renaissance.
I'm just having fun.
Oh, that's cool, man. No, I caught on to it quick enough, brother.
Tectonic plate.
Tectonic, yeah. Well, you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know, you got to understand reality, not what you're taught. And this is why I got kicked out of second grade because I didn't believe the stupid shit I was being taught, so much so that I had to put my second grade teacher in the hospital because she tried to shove shit down my throat. And I told her, hell no, this is stupid. And she got up and one too many times. Trust me, I went through my mom, I went through principal, I went through everything. None of it fucking worked because I was a lying little second grader. So I ended up having to take care of her myself. And then they believed me. And then they kicked me out of that school. That's why I got sent to Scotland.
It's a good discussion in chat on types of taxes. Nichols asking about consumption taxes or flat taxes. I'd personally prefer only value-added taxes, consumption taxes.
I would prefer if America was run like a corporation and we got paid and we didn't have to pay.
Oh, well, that'd be even better.
You know that, and that's feasible.
That.
It's feasible if we start thinking that way and quit thinking like slaves that are being taxed.
I agree. I think that taxes
make up our government what they can give us, because Social
completely
Security is supposed to have been such a thing. If you know anything about math, had they left the Social Security Administration fund alone and not tapped into it through Carter, paying the Forest Service, whole fucking Forest Service out of the Social Security Administration so we could balance the budget for fucking political reasons. If we got rid of that shit and Social Security was left alone, everyone on Social Security would be getting $7,000 to $10,000 checks monthly right now because the interest on the 10, 20, 30 trillion dollars that would have been left in there, and it would have been a successful thing, and they wouldn't have been able to control over us, whoever they are. Whoever they are is the ones that tapped in that money and made it to where now grandma and grandpa are only getting $2,000 instead of the $10,000 they should be getting because some freaking politician tapped into it and make it not work. If they get their hands off of it, it would have worked so great that we could retire at 55 millionaires because the government would have paid us. So if that could have happened through the Social Security Administration, which you could check numbers, you can go back from the 70s till now and find out if they had not taken that money out of it and you compound that interest that would have been there, should have been there, could have been there, and see how much they would have paid out people nowadays, your shit will fucking drop saying, holy cow, we could have paid them that much. Yeah, that's what happens when you run things successfully. They chose to steal from that fund to make it where it's going to go insolvent in a few years by design. As soon as you understand that, you'll understand exactly how manipulated we're being. Because we could have been so damn wealthy. So yes, our country can be run like a business, and it can be run to where each one of us could be receiving $10,000 checks from our government. The only problem with that is the work. The financial part's cool. The workload that we'd have to have. People wouldn't work. We'd be fat, lazy, and spending the wrong thing because our morality is not in the right spot. So there'd have to be checks and balances. If you do go to a company state where America was run like a company, you'd have to have certain standards put on the people. Because we can't control ourselves. We get fat, lazy, and stupid. And that's an individual problem that would cause from that. But run successfully, America should be the richest country on this planet for the eternity. Because just from the Social Security Administration, had they not messed with that money and you just let it sit there. Because they've never been able to draw out. They started something that wouldn't have been drawn out for 40 years and you're paying and everyone pays into it and it really doesn't start paying out big for 40 years. Man, they had trillions in there. You know what they're interested in? Hey, look at the American interest now on the debt. That's what it could have been in Social Security Administration, except for that would be money getting paid in by who? By whoever the fuck was paying the interest on that money. Yeah, that was their problem. They'd wanted us owing, not getting paid that. And that's why they tapped in those funds. So think about it seriously. America could very easily be run as a corporation, and we could be independently wealthy because of that if we ran this country properly.
Oh, Alaska does pay its citizens.
Yeah, they do pay them a little bit, but fuck, man, that's not enough to pay for them fucking heat.
No. I think it's about $1,000 a year.
Yeah, it doesn't even pay the heating bill, man. If
But
they paid them like $50,000 a year, that'd be a fucking
but
populated state.
it's you think about what you pay in state income taxes and the swing to 1,000. That's probably a five to whatever $10,000 swing, depending on what state you live on.
Yeah, again, these states, they're all fucking greedy. I did a video. If you go back, Art saw that. I saw Art made a comment on it, on the wealth of each and every independent state. And if you add all that shit up, man, just the independent states, screw the federal debt. The independent states, independent wealth, all 50 states built up, comes up to like 16 to 18 trillion dollars. That's just their wealth. They could pay off half the debt. The individual states could pay off half the debt, and we could get it under control, cut the other half in wasteful spending, and within 1 year, we could have this country's balanced budget again, switching over to run more like a corporation, putting in law, rules and regulations stating that we could fire sons of bitches. We don't have to take a 4-year process to get rid of them while we're all suffering 4 years trying to get this shit done. We can get rid of them lickety split. That could be done too. And that'd be a sales point for running it like a corporation. And every American would have to be informed for shareholder meetings. Every individual state fucking gets together, every county gets together, do their thing, reporting to the state, reporting to the feds, fucking money flowing in, not out. I have a dream.
So Neil, what's the latest on South Africa?
Latest on South Africa is they're not quite bankrupt yet, so Platinum's not going to run too much. But if you watch my videos, you find out they've lost a lot of money in gold. The gold industry, they've lost a lot of money in the past 10 years. Again, ever since they joined BRICS. They've lost money in platinum and they've lost money in gold, two of their biggest money makers. And they've got a lot of money to put out in infrastructure repair, which they don't have because their biggest money makers, they've been losing money in the past 2 years, all because of an economic war that we have against BRICS that they joined, because they were supposed to have been like a financial bump to the BRICS nations, i.e. China, in the next technological revolution that's coming up next year.
Well, they have a big industrial problem from what I've heard, and their power grid is very unstable. So
that's because they're a coal-powered power plant. When they took it over in the apartheid, when they took it over from the other people that had run it, and they started, kicking those people out, they chose to start spending money and not thinking properly about maintenance and infrastructure maintenance and stuff like that. And they've put themselves in a condition where they still require a lot of coal. And not only are they having a problem getting the amount of coal they need, the foundry or factory, whatever their power plant, their coal power plant, is starting to fall apart and not be able to produce and distribute through that crappy infrastructure system the power needed. I did a video over 4 or 5 months ago. They're having rolling blackouts throughout that country. When I say South Africa's fixing to go bankrupt, South Africa's fixing to go bankrupt. And you can't do business with power out. You want to trade in BTC? Hey, move to another country, because you won't be able to do it for 12 hours a day in South Africa because they cut your power off. That means no internet, no nothing. You better be off grid. Yeah, you want to find out what life will be like with BTC? Move to South Africa and find out. All they got to do is cut your power. They cut your money. You got to go to another country to get your shit. Yeah, you can still get it, but that's a hell of an inconvenience, ain't it? Hope you got some sort of other fund to pay for the fuel it's going to cost to get you there.
I've seen quite a few reports that speculate that South Africa will collapse due to its political problems.
Yeah. Here I am smiling about it. I feel like Ninja right now. Yeah, it's a bad thing, but man, there's a lot of money to be made. There's a lot of money to be made in all of Africa. So much shit's changing. I'd love to invest in that. If those 3 countries become a new country, I would freaking love to invest in them because they will have the biggest building spike in that area of Africa that they've had in fucking 100 years. And they don't have the people, qualified people, to be able to do that. So they'll be contracting out. And that's the start. And then whatever they're building is another investment. And if you look at that area of Africa, they got a hell of a lot of young people. And the reason why that's important is that's the workforce of the future. And if those 3 countries become one country and keep getting their crap together, hell, they have a chance of that workforce being a pretty damn good one.
Yeah, demographics are your future. That's why China's in trouble.
Oh, big time. They're at what, 1.1? No, probably
Yep.
1.3.
Yeah, it's like it's low ones.
Yeah.
Japan's in big trouble. South
Yeah.
Korea's in big trouble.
Yep.
Yeah, Art and Jack are talking about New Zealand. You may, if you're considering New Zealand, you may want to investigate how they were during the.
I think they were still moving Christchurch 1 mile west because of the fault line. And that's their largest city.
They were quite restrictive. I'll just leave it at that. Like their neighbors to the west across the water.
So it's not surprising that they're paying people to go there. They probably lost a lot of people moving away.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I had that tea to my
It was one of my on my bucket list to visit, and after their behaviors over the last few years, it took it off my bucket list.
I don't see why Nickel doesn't come up here, or Constitutional.
They should, because I'm just about to drop down, and so that'll definitely make lots of room. In fact, I think you can have up to 6 people on here.
10.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep, can have 10 people.
Well, once you start loading up with that, you'll have to scroll down on the people coming up from the basement.
Yeah.
Because it'll only go across one line. That'll be cool to see.
It's been fun, man. We've had some good conversations. I like that.
Yeah, the chat's been really good this week.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to drop down, though, and wish everybody a great week. I'll stay in the chat, but
Yeah,
here I got an early day tomorrow, so.
right on. And
Sorry about the pooch.
yeah,
Yeah,
and I hope that we could distract you a little bit mentally, anyhow.
Yeah, well, I do. I try to keep busy and keep my mind off of it, and it's all good. But she was a big part of the family and in my life, so it's tough.
Yeah,
But,
it's like losing a kid. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we've all lost pets. It takes me about a year to get over it.
Yeah, it seems for me right now it comes in waves. If I'm not really thinking about her and what happened, then I seem to be okay. But if I start really thinking about it, then it's the type of thing that I don't want to go through. So I try to keep busy. But it's always fun being here, and I appreciate everybody, and hope everyone has a great week.
You as well, my friend. I'd suggest getting 2 more dogs.
Yeah, I know.
I
that's your
like
plan.
Neil's ratio. You lose 1, you acquire 2.
Get to.
The need is there, and your love is great for them, and they will return it, and you'll have twice as much, man.
Yeah.
You'll never lose the love of the other dog. It's just a chapter. It's a chapter, and there are many chapters in our life. Many chapters in our lives.
Well done, Neil. Well done.
Yeah,
Take care,
blessing.
JM. Have
Blessings,
a
my
great
friend.
night.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward now in a good way. I mean, looking forward in the future. Probably next year, I'm gonna have to put down one other of my babies because, she's fucking old.
Good
She's
night,
old.
John.
Yeah, for real. Sorry, John, I didn't speak more to you, brother.
Good night, Constitutional.
Yeah, good night, Constitutional. Nickel, one of his dogs did. Yeah. Yeah, Mike could get Gandalf. He's looking like he might jump up here. Place myself right. Hey, what's up? Long live coins. You going to bed? Or are you coming in? Oh, well, Silver's here. That means Gandalf won't jump up there. Get up there, big man. Get up there. No. Yeah. Right on, Jake. The pizza must be affecting your adrenaline, allowing you to stay up a little later. I appreciate everyone stopping by. I'm doing a head count of kitties. I need pizza. Yeah, everyone knows each other online here, brother. On YouTube, we all same channels and shit, pretty much. Same thinking.
Yeah, Nickel. It's like the Waltons. Good night, John Boy. Good night, Mary Ellen. Good night, Jim Bob.
Let's see how that one stays. He's going to go down. He ain't going to stay long. He's got a little ball down there he was chasing. And Silver needs to go down and play with him. Get down, Silver. Yeah, Nickel. I remember the Waltons.
The Waltons were big in the mid 70s.
As a matter of fact, that redheaded guy, John Boy, is a major producer.
Yeah, Richard Thomas.
Yeah, major producer. If you can hear it, the two little kittens are fighting.
And the dad, John Waite, he did a lot of part roles in movies.
What was that other one on the same time? Mount Pilot.
That's
Andy
Mayberry.
Griffith.
That's Andy Griffith.
Andy Griffith, yeah. Reason why I said Mount Pilot is I rode Andalusian horses on Mount Pilot back in it was 94, summer of 94, because the guy who was he owned the decking company. We were building a building in South Carolina, or in Charlotte, North Carolina, and he lived down there. We went down to his place because he was doing the deck, we were doing the structure. He invited us down, or he invited me down. I brought Paul down, my connecting partner, and we rode horses on his ranch. And the only reason I remember is because it was on Mount Pilot. And
Well,
he said that,
the funny thing is they inverted the name. It's really Pilot Mountain, but for the show they changed it to a town called Mount Pilot.
yeah,
Pilot Mountain's that interesting mountain with a knob on top,
Yep.
But Andy Griffith was from Mount Airy, just a few miles from Pilot Mountain.
yeah. I just remember that's one of the times I rode horses bareback. Was that time, and then at Shane's place the other time. That's the only two times I've ridden horses bareback. Both times were quite fun.
So,
Hell of a lot better, man.
how is it to ride a horse bareback? How do you control it?
Oh, easy. Oh, for me, yeah. You just, as you're on it, you grab the rein, its mane, and you pull.
Oh, okay.
You don't hold it like this. You go reverse grip and just hold it, and you just pull back. It slows down or pull down, depending on the horse. You read the horse, and then and then most of them are trained with their feet, where you fucking tap,
Yep.
good pressure. Because if you're bareback, your feet will like cup their thigh area, and if you like tap your toe inward and do like that motion on them, they'll go that way, and then the others go that way. But if they're not trained that way, then you just grab them like that, and you just take their head, and their head will go one direction, and then that means they'll go in that direction, and you release it down, and then you pull the other way, and it depends on how the animal's trained, or if it is trained. But yeah, feet or pull in the mane. But if you have to pull the mane, reverse grip. Don't grip it like that. That's awkward on the human because of the placement where your elbow is and shit. You won't be able to where if you do this, you have a lot more room. If the horse tries to buck you, you can still hold on. To where if you're holding like this and the horse tries to buck you, you're further out because you're getting caught up. To where if you're like this, you can just see my back's not moving. But if I'm holding like that and I come back too far, I get pushed back because my arms are faced that way. If they're faced this way, I can go all the way back to my chest and not move. But I can't do that face this way.
Do you need steps to mount it bareback?
I never have.
So you're able to climb up on it?
On the ones that I was on. Now, Shane helped me when I was on for his horse. And yes, no. Did I use the map? We built a two-step and then platform for knights to get on their horses because they would mount their horses in the jousting field. They would have tents, and the jousters would be in their tents because it was hot armor. You'd keep them shaded. And then right outside their tent would be two steps and then a platform, and their horse would be waiting, and they'd get on. That's how. But see now, at Shane's at his stalls, at his stables, he lifted me up and threw me up because like Dragon, damn, his shoulders were above my head, dude. That was a big freaking horse. Now over at I wish I could remember the gentleman's name. Pilot Mountain, not Pilot, where I rode up other bird. They were smaller. They were, about like this, and I could just grab and jump on, and I was on them. And when you jump on them, you throw one leg up and you just kind of jump on, and then you just squeeze, and then you get your handles right, and then you just fucking see how they respond. They respond with feet, unless you already spoke with the owner, and then you find out if they respond with foot or hand motion. Ride any horse for a long time, for 2 or 3 hours, and you start having that fucking cowboy walk where your fucking legs are spread out.
You look like the horse has ridden you.
Pretty much. Yeah. Because, it's not natural to spread and the bigger the horse, the bigger the spread. When I rode Dragon, he tried bucking me, but he had so many muscles on his thighs. It was like standing on a beam. There's no way he could. The only way I was getting off that horse is if he went over backwards. Then I would have jumped off because when he jumped up, his thigh muscles were so damn big, and I was wrapped right. It was just like squatting, but my legs were further apart. I was like, and then holding on to his mane. I was like, oh, this is fucking cool. I'm just letting him go up and down. I was like let him tire himself out. I'll just sit here and fucking get a little thigh exercise at the horse's expense.
Okay, Neil. Art wants to know: would you buy a Hellcat or a Trackhawk?
For what? Were those?
I think in the Hellcat.
Are they helicopters?
I think a Hellcat's an airplane, isn't it?
Could be an airplane. I don't know. I don't know what they are. Not off the top of my head.
Art, let us know what they are.
Yeah.
Cars, Nickel says.
Oh, they're cars? Sorry. Oh, okay. Hellcat's a Dodge. Okay, what was the question again? Hellcat? I don't know, man. I want it, quite frankly,
or a Trackhawk.
67 Mustang. I thought those were beautiful cars. They had a beautiful body. Little 289. Wasn't fucking too big. Wasn't small. Perfect car.
I like that year and I like that car, but I'd take the Camaro over the Mustang.
Dude, the 67 Camaro is side by side, a beautiful freaking architecturally designed, the perfect car you'd want matched with that year Mustang. And I actually know a guy who had a 67. I had a 67 Mustang. This guy had a 67 Camaro, and it was beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
one of my buddies has a '67 Camaro. It's a white Camaro. It's a beautiful car.
Oh man, the and if he jacks up the back a little bit and you go old school and you put like 60s on the front, 50s on the back. Yeah, that motherfucker's a beast then. But then you got to do a little rear end work. But yeah, people, hey, what's up, original? If you go old school and do, but people don't do that nowadays. We
Hey, original.
kind of jack up the back end and put thicker tires on the back and thinner tires on the front, make it look like a speedster and shit. Those were the days.
Original, do you have some Spanish-French mix going on there?
Yeah,
Buenos noches, mon frères.
it's Spanish French.
I think he started off in Spanish and trailed off into French.
It's an eloquent linguist.
He's a cunning linguist. Oh, please don't throw Nipponese in there. Okay, actually, throw it in there if you can get the script to render it.
We need some people to come up here on stage. Who's not scared? I don't think there's any ladies here, original. I apologize. It's just us guys. It's guys' night.
Hey, Neil JM says
It's not pinned. I see that.
StreamYard's not posted, not pinned. Here, I can post.
Yeah, that'll work.
Let me do it.
Original. Cheap night.
I just posted the link.
There we go. I'm scared. Any Puerto Rican? I don't think there's any Puerto Rican people follow me, much less Puerto Rican ladies. They got it, man. If you're on a beautiful island like that, I don't know what you're doing on a damn computer. I remember as a kid, people called me a water baby because everywhere except for Scotland, because that fucking water was cold. I had no way in hell I was going in that water. Every other country in America, wherever, I was always in the water. Always in the water. Northern California, there's no way in hell I'm getting in. I used to go ab diving, but I had to put on a semi-dry wetsuit to go ab diving because the water's fucking cold.
So, Art, do you like the ladies of the Latina persuasion?
Come here, buddies. Here's my Russian blue. What's it we got? Balboa Beach. I'm in Northern Cali. We go to, like 20 years ago, I'd go to Highway 1. There's a lot north, a lot of small towns and a lot of secluded beaches where you have bonfire parties and a lot of hippie style shit. Once you get up further,
If you get in the water where you live, Neil, it'll freeze off your bits.
man, you won't be producing or reproducing. You'll be like standing by the fire hoping you can see it again sometime. Please become a boy again.
Yeah.
I want to be a boy again. Come on, boy, come on. Heat. What do you need?
it'll take a while for them to drop again.
For real, it's like that shit's cold out there, bro. Although I did find out, I had an option when I bought my semi-dry suit because I'm such a pussy of cold water. I bought a semi-dry instead of just a wetsuit, and then I discovered that it was too hot. Actually, after a while,
See you, Gerald.
15 minutes, it was too hot, and I had to cut the neck. And the first time I wore the shit, I cut it down, I opened up, and steam started coming out. It was so freaking hot, and it was in Northern California waters. We're up like by Salt, about 20 miles north of Salt Point on the coast. Just some cold ass water.
I went sea kayaking at Half Moon Bay once, and that was in the middle of the summer, and the water was still in the 50s.
Dude, we were me and a buddy of mine. We were down in Monterey, and we went kayaking, and we got caught in the fucking riptide. And like this is like 20 years ago. I was a lot fucking, I was a lot more gung ho and shit like that. And we got caught in this riptide. It took everything. We started on one side of Monterey Bay, and before the riptide started pulling us, and we were like paddling, doing all the right shit. And we went all the way across the bay before we got the fuck out of that riptide. And we ended up walking our damn kayaks back to the return to the rental. We're like, fuck, dude, we wanted a good time, not a fucking workout, because we busted our asses not being taken out into the ocean from that freaking riptide, bro. That's some serious shit. Anyone who wasn't in good shape would not have been able to pedal through that and come back to shore. And there was actually an iron worker. We ended up calling him Bowie because he was a pretty big guy. In his wetsuit, he had like 40 pounds almost, probably more like 35 of weights around his waist. And his buddy was also big because they always they'd ab dive together because they never dive separately. And the other guy lost his weight belt. He started bobbing like a buoy because he was so fat and had so much wetsuit. Without the extra weight, he couldn't stay underwater, so most of his body stayed above water. So Jim Bowie was his Bowie. Jim Bowie was his name. He dropped his weight belt so they could stay together as a team. And the Coast Guard found him about 15 miles out in the ocean, saying they were just bobbing like buoys. So we started calling him, instead of Jim Bowie, we started calling him Jim Bowie. He hated us every time. Hey, what's up, Bowie? What's up, brother?
Neil Nichols in the waiting room, so go ahead and let him in.
Holy shit. See, I didn't want a skeleton up in here, man. Now I'm scared it's going to be Halloween again. And I won't get any candies. What's up, Nickel?
So, what's your predictions for next year's medals? Like the high and the...
It all depends, man. Are we talking a reset? Because a reset, I'm not going to give any predictions on. If things just go the way they're supposed to go, I think
50-51 for silver. I'm predicting 50-51 for silver. High.
What time the high of next year? Of next year?
Yeah. They're going to lower interest rates. So, yeah. Silver should gain from that.
High of next year. If our economy, now this is a disclaimer, if our economy keeps us in a stagflationary economy and it doesn't get better, it could go up to 65. If they keep us from going to a stagflationary economy, probably 35. We're at like a tipping point. Now, platinum, I can see platinum fucking going up 17, 16, 1700 next year.
Probably at least 1300.
16, 17 is what I'm saying. And I'll even go a step further. As soon as South Africa goes bankrupt, if you don't have platinum, you'll wish the fuck you did, because that means the economic war on South Africa will be over, and their losses that they're taking on platinum because of the economic war will be over. So there will be no suppression of platinum, which means it should take its historical spot over gold. and you will wish you had some. Which means it'll be 75, 100% more expensive than gold as soon as South Africa declares bankruptcy.
Yeah, if platinum gets to 1,300,
Hell, it's going to get that by fucking February, man.
You buy it now, you can make some serious profit by selling it at that.
Yeah,
if,
I'm not.
If you don't want to keep it,
I use silver as a bank. I say all the time, buy silver and platinum, be your own bank. I don't do that with platinum because I don't know why I don't do it with platinum. It's just there's such a heavy premium on platinum. It's got the price has got really got it. I mean, you can't rely on using it as a monetary fallback in the short term. In a longer term, you can. And I find I buy and sell more silver and not platinum because of the and they say platinum's more volatile. That's bullshit.
Who is the hates platinum?
When I first got into platinum 2 years ago, people were like, "Oh, I don't invest in it; it's too volatile," and that's all I heard from everyone.
Yeah.
I started looking at it, I was like, "What the fuck's volatile about it? You people are idiots."
The guy something TM. What's Nick TM? He absolutely hates platinum. I'm always messing with him. You got that platinum yet, or whatever? He said he would just throw it away.
Being open-minded to the availability of change occurring is a good thing because that's what happens with technology. And all I can say is with the newer technologies that people are going to be wakening up to, it's already kind of sort of getting out there, require platinum. Plain and simple. Requires platinum.
Art collector, it's you got the C and the B right. It's the Cincinnati Bengals, not the Chicago Bears. No Chicago Bears for me. Yep.
I'm not a nothing. I don't watch football. I don't support it. It's one of those. Here's a interesting question. Why would I not watch football?
Got better things to do. You don't like them because they act like spoiled brats. I can go over the whole list. Yeah, because you don't give it. Yeah. I don't really watch them. If the Bengals get to the Super Bowl, I'll watch the Super Bowl. If they don't get to the Super Bowl, I don't really care.
If they give money to an animal abuser so they can watch him play, knowing what he did, fuck them.
You talking about Michael Vick?
Yep.
But this, I just teased. There's Popzilla. He says the Vikings are going to the Super Bowl. I told him they'll be lucky if they can get to the supermarket.
And it's just, I just don't boycott fucking football as a football fan. I actually personally know a running back, a very famous running back on the California Cowboy team. Excuse me, the California Cowboy team. I actually grew up with him while I was in Florida. And that's Emmitt Smith. I actually know his whole family. He's got 2 brothers. I know both of them. And I still don't watch football because of Michael Vick. And the way they played him, they should never allow that motherfucker to make another penny. But
no, I don't watch much baseball because they changed the rules to the point where they ruin the games. I don't really watch baseball. Basketball professional, there's no defense, so I don't watch that. I'm a college guy, but I don't like college football much.
I watch snipe hunting. Any of you guys ever been fooled with that one as kids? Nothing but crickets. Guess y'all didn't grow up in the woods.
What was that? What was the question again, Neil?
You ever did your dad or your dad's friends ever take you snipe hunting?
Oh, snipe hunting, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Snipe hunting.
Oh, absolutely.
I tell people about that. They're like, snipe hunting? What the hell's that? I'm like, oh my God.
I've bagged some big snipes.
Yeah. You know, if you're a smart ass kid and they send you out snipe hunting, you need to find some sort of rodent, piss it off, and stick it in the bag and say, "Look, I got a snipe," and show them. Turns the joke around on them, but you got to know you're being joked before you do it.
Bring them a rabid raccoon.
Yeah, bring them a rabbit that's rabid. They're, ah! Kid, how'd you get that fucker in the bag? Keep him in the bag. Yeah, original intent. Here's, let's shake every bush. Oh shit! Yeah,
So when your cats bring back a raccoon as a friend, are you going to keep it?
they will not. Luckily, they are smart and they stay away from the raccoons when they come in the yard. The
They like
cats
to play.
disappear.
Cats and
They-
raccoons like to play together. They get along really good.
not out here.
I was going to say, my cats would avoid a raccoon like the plague.
Yeah, they avoid them when the raccoons come by. They don't mind possums, but when the skunk comes by, they also fucking bolt.
Now my
Well,
cats like the
now
possum.
dogs and raccoons will not get along. As a matter of fact, raccoons will gang up on a dog and kill it. But cats, they say cats and raccoons get along great.
My
No.
cats
Yeah.
love possums. The possums will come up on the deck, and the cats will punk them. They'll follow them, swat them a little bit, not hurt them, but just kind of mess with them, punk them a little bit, and then leave them alone.
And the cats always vacate when the fucking raccoons come around.
Now, two of my cats are Maine Coon blends, and one of them he'll take on the neighborhood fox. And the foxes, when they get confronted, they make the most gosh awful scream. It sounds like a baby being strangled.
Here's a good question for you. Why don't cats do like dogs when they're out in the wild? And pack
Well,
Why don't
what do
they-
you mean? Like
Are they pack animals?
pack hunt.
Or are they just not? They're solitary creatures.
They're dangerous when they do. I actually a girl. She's up there. She died a couple of years ago, about 3 years ago, before I got all my other cats started coming. I actually physically seen her on several occasions directing 2 other cats while squirrel hunting, and she'd always bring me back squirrels. She was part Maine Coon as well.
So Neil, you're telling us your cat herded cats.
To get dinner. Yes, they worked in a pack. They worked together to get the squirrel.
The only time I've ever seen that is as a kid. I had a cat, a Russian blue, and she had a son which we kept, and they would hunt together. That's the only time I've seen that.
It's badass when you get a cat that works with other cats.
But I can't think of any cat breed that generally hunts in a pack.
Yeah.
Lions do. Wait a second, lions do.
Well, that's not a breed you keep at your house.
Yeah.
Not most people, anyhow.
No, I was thinking of all the breeds though, including.
No, I was only
lions
thinking
and
of
tigers.
like house cats. And why don't they?
Jaguars are solitary. Cougars are solitary. Leopards are
Panthers.
solitary.
panthers are leopards.
All of them are solitary. None of them pack. All the big cats, even little cats, except for the lion in Africa.
That's it.
Yeah, 'cause they have a pride.
But tigers, I don't think actually do. I
No,
don't think the Bengal or the Siberian doe pack. They're individual
solitary.
creatures. But the lions, the female lioness, actually male lions, once they get old enough in their own pack, they get kicked out. They do have a pride of bachelors.
Yeah.
Pride of bachelors that they go hang out in. But there's less of those than there is the female run prize with one lion.
The cheetahs will gang up on you.
Okay, yeah. I think I've seen cheetahs hunt in pairs.
Yeah, it'd be a family pair, mom and son or something like that.
JM says Jaguars working packs at the bars.
Yeah. Well, hey, in that case, so do Cougars. Yeah. Cougars do work in packs in that particular statement.
That's what Adjack says. He's correcting JM. He says, no, you're thinking about Cougars.
Yeah, MILFs and Cougars.
Well, they're not necessarily exclusive.
True. As I thought, got no ninja tonight because he's late on his airplane. But it is what it is. I gave him time. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off, guys. We've been going for about 2 hours and 10 minutes. Wealth of Nations, thank you very much for coming on. You've been a great host, moderator.
My pleasure, Neil.
Viking fan waiting for a trip to the Super Bowl, also known as Nickel Stacker. Thank you for coming here.
I'm waiting for him to come on at a time I can get on there and show him that, because he probably will tell something like, I'm not letting him up because I got that on there. I understand the Vikings lost again. Are they now? I think they're 6-7 or something.
Who cares?
They ain't gonna make it. They ain't gonna make it.
There's got to be a winner. There's got to be a loser. And if you actually look at football, it's rotationary. It rotates just like housing. As far as Super Bowl winners and shit, it rotates around. Very seldom is there a stop of more than 6 to 8 years of the same teams going to the top before they'll change rules or change something to make it. Like I remember it was like, who was it? Yeah, the Chicago Bears. Remember when they had the Super Bowl shuffle back in the 80s, and then they were nothing like
Refrigerator Perry and
Singleton.
The
and the quarterback. The quarterback was
Jim McMahon. I want
Yeah,
to say
he
Vince
was
McMahon,
such
but
a hot dog. He was such a hot dog.
And then what happened to him in the fucking after that? And then, for 20 or so years, they were shit. And they come back. It's just, they have to do it that way because if you look at it, the NFL is a business. And it's all set up because they have to let certain guys win so they get a return on investment. That's why every team in the league will win a Super Bowl.
They even let New England deflate the football so they could get better grip on it.
Yeah,
and let New England spy on the other team using microphones.
It's a business. Remember that. It's not a game. It's a business. Then it's a game. But it's a business, and they're going to change people, change players, change rules to make it work the way they want it to for their shareholders. Their shareholders are the guys who own those teams, and they want to return investment. And that's a Super Bowl fucking game because they get big money on that for big ticket sales, and that's part of the return on investment. Successful season. It's all got to be set up to make that happen.
Have a good
Walter
night,
Payton.
JM.
Walter Payton was the biggest guy on their team. I forgot about him.
Yeah, he was pushing for
running back.
Sweet.
He had
Was his
moves
nickname.
like Jagger, man. He could make people lose their shoes,
Well, Viking, what was his nickname? You remember?
Sweetness.
Sweetness.
Yeah. Because the way he run was sweet. And he was great.
The funny thing is, he was like a battering ram, but he had the voice of Michael Jackson. He talked real high.
He had kidney failure, I think. That's what he died, I think, of. Something.
Yeah.
One of his organs gave out.
Liver or kidney.
Yeah.
Yeah, he died young. He died in his 40s. That was sad. I wasn't a Bears fan, but I was a Walter Payton fan. He was amazing. That was back in the era. They don't do this anymore because you get injured doing this. But, defender wanted to tackle him, and he ran him over.
Well, he lowered his helmet. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
he
can't,
lowered-
you
lower-
can't use the helmet as a weapon anymore.
Lowered the helmet or lowered the shoulder, but he'd run him over.
Yeah, like I said, they changed the rules, man.
Mike Singletary, he was a monster.
Someone will find a way to fucking succeed better than to change the rules where you'll never see that kind of player again.
Is that a Slim Jim?
I got 10 of them for $1. Talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
Wow.
beating inflation. This cost me 10
I just a
cents.
Slim
baby.
Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love them commercials, man. I love them. He made you want to go out and eat them. I tell you,
Mhm.
there's your best wrestler ever.
Who?
Him. He's the best wrestler there ever was, I thought. Macho
Who?
Man. The
Yeah.
Macho Man. I tell
Randy
you,
Savage.
oh my gosh, he could have had it. He was hilarious. He could have had his own, he could have done stand up.
Well, I loved his gig.
Yeah. One day I'm gonna be the world champion, take on Hulk Hogan, snap into a Slim Jim. Yeah.
And then that little headed guy, what was the name announcer? He would talk to his the wife.
Mean Gene.
Oh, Mean
Yeah.
Gene Okerlund.
And he
Mhm.
said, "Excuse me here." He said, "I'm just the champion, world champion." And he'd get on him because they weren't talking to him. That's funny. He was hilarious. He was.
No, I take it all of us have seen WWF and
Yeah.
WCW.
Well, he was WWF and WWE. I think he came back a little bit for the WWE, but he was mostly WWF. And then he went to the other competitor, the where the NWO was started. What's the other? What was the other one that?
The OWN from Ultimate Warrior.
No, the other league that was. I mean, the other wrestling company that was beating them head to head for a while.
It was
WCW?
WWF and WCW.
WCW.
Yeah, Ted Turner had WCW and
Yeah.
what's his name had WWF.
Well, it was entertaining when Jesse Ventura was a color
Analyst.
commentator as well. He was always giving Vince McMahon crap. He'd go, McMahon,
I'm surprised he
McMahon
made
this,
Governor,
McMahon that.
Jesse the Body Ventura. I don't really like him as a person much, but yeah, he was entertaining. I'm just
One of
not
his
a big
Navy
fan
SEAL,
of him
man.
politically, so I'm not a big fan. But
He was one of the original badasses. SEAL back in the
What,
50s.
being a Navy SEAL?
Yeah, back when it meant something.
He talks about it enough.
Yeah, I did. Well, return on investment, baby.
He wants to make sure he was a Navy SEAL.
Some people can talk about it, some people can't. The ones that talk about it usually didn't do too much.
Well, the
Jimmy
wild thing was
Superfly Snuka. Yeah.
he
the
was
wild
good.
thing was the state of Minnesota elected him as governor.
Yeah, he was good in like the two movies. The two good movies he was in was Predator,
Yeah.
and he was good in the one with Richard Dawson.
He was
Running
also in that movie with Rodney
Running
Rodney
Man.
Piper.
Oh yeah, Piper's hilarious too. I like him a lot too. I come here to chew gum and shoot people, or something he said. I'm out of gum. Remember that movie? What was that movie called?
That's the one Jimmy Snuka was in as well, I believe.
Yeah, Piper would show up in the ring in a kilt.
Yeah.
Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper.
Yeah, I know a lot of the words didn't like him, but man, I thought he was hilarious. He was good. It was
I
another
thought he
good
was
character.
funny.
Yeah.
The Warrior, the Ultimate Warrior, he was
Hey, Joseph.
Steroided out.
he was
What's up,
he was a
Joseph?
one and done. I mean, he didn't want to be the bad guy. And you got to do both. And he didn't want to turn. He wanted to be a baby face.
Have you ever hung around or had to do business or be around anyone who was on steroids back in the day, unlike today's steroids they have?
Oh,
Back
yeah.
then, it changed your mentality.
It'd make them very angry and aggressive.
Very, very, very much so. And very, 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 very difficult to deal with. And
I had a guy on my football team. So I was offensive line. He was defensive line. So in in summer two a days. You know, we would scrimmage off against each other, and I was stronger than him. You know, I could push him off the line.
Mm-hmm.
By middle of the season, he was crushing me, and I mean, he definitely and he had roid rage. You know, he got into a lot of incidents.
Uh-huh. You remember the UFC when it first started, first year or two? All the big motherfuckers that got in there before they changed the rules. Mm-hmm. Go back and watch the fucking videos, man, of those days. Those motherfuckers were all fucking roided up.
Well, how about Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa back when in the home run race? I mean, those guys were pretty juiced too. And even who's the guy who eventually broke the season record?
Bonds.
Barry Bonds. Yeah. Well, look at the size of his head. That's another thing. Guys who are on roids, look at the size of their head when they're, you know, a young adult, early adulthood, and look at it after they've done years of steroids. The head
they know the movie. Look in the comments.
Yeah,
They lived. Yeah, it was a bunch of aliens or something, and he came in there in that bank and said,
mm-hmm.
he said, I'm here to
he has the sunglasses on.
I'm all out of bubble gum. Yeah, it was good, man. That's hilarious. I liked it. Now the Hulk, he is not an actor, dude. He's just not.
By no means.
He tried.
He sold his old persona out for fucking Hulk Hogan, so he can only play Hulk Hogan as a character in the movies. To where that's why other guys try and play different personas, like Dwayne Johnson played the persona and changed it up throughout his career and left on a high note and was able to carry that over to Hollywood.
Now, there's a lot of things about The Rock I don't like, but he is a good actor.
He's a great actor. He's a piece of shit human being.
You mean being a phony on the whole Maui thing?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But
the Fairy Godfather was still a funny ass movie.
He and Oprah.
Cena can act, and the guy Batista, he does good.
I think Cena sucks as an actor.
He did do a good job.
And I think Batista should have started in acting and stayed in acting and not gone to the WWC because he's a damn good actor.
Yeah, Gerald's calling out Lou Ferrigno, the Hulk.
Yeah, Lou. Yeah, I think he wanted a raise when he was doing the Hulk, and it cut for his acting. I go, all you do is go, and I'm going, how hard is that?
Well, he had to get jacked. I mean, he was huge.
Yeah, and look at him and look at the guys now, and he was small.
Yeah.
And he's deaf, too. You know he's deaf, don't you?
Yeah, he was deaf back then.
Yeah, he was deaf back then. That's why when he talks, he, he's a little bit.
He kind of talks like this, man.
Yeah.
Because he can't really hear that well. Yeah, so you see that, so you can, the vibration of that tone, he can hear himself.
Yeah, a lot of speech is in feedback. You know, you adjust your speech as you get feedback into your ear, and if you're deaf, you can't do that.
And that's why you talk at a certain tone. It's usually a lower tone because it vibrates your own ears better.
It makes sense that wrestlers can go into acting because they act. Part of what they do is acting. They're part of
what they're doing is they're being a stuntman in the ring. They're being a stuntman in the ring. That's all. And if I was a stuntman,
Triple H cannot act. I've seen him. I've never been impressed. That's why he doesn't get any roles much because he's not very good. I've seen him in a couple movies. He's not good.
He was in a vampire movie. He was. Was that a beach vampire movie? Lost Boys 2 or 3 or something like that. He was in. I think it was Lost Boys 2. Maybe 3.
I never thought that the Macho Man was that great in movies either. He was in that wrestling movie. And, of course, all he had to do is play himself. You know? And so that's why he did well in that one. But he could have been a comedian. He could have had a talk show or could have been a comedian, and it would have been big. I mean, he would have done really well, I think, with it. So, but, there's so many of them try to do that. You know, would you blame them? Look at the travel. They don't have to do the travel if they're an actor. They get paid probably more. They don't have to travel.
You know what
They
I
make
saw?
300 shows a year. You know,
This is fucked
they don't
up,
get
man.
hurt.
It's happening to acting now too. I saw an ad for acting for a movie that's going to be coming up. They're paying $180 an hour for actors, and it's anyone can take the job.
Yeah, Gerald, I agree. Van Damme didn't do very many good movies. He did a bunch of movies, but they weren't very good.
No, he did not act. He just had a lot of charisma with the ladies, and they provided the money of the board of directors of the company that sponsored the movies he was in.
Van
More or
Damme.
less.
I will kick you.
No, you got to use the French accent. I will kick you.
Well, actually, he's Flemish, so it's more Dutch.
True. And also, anytime a man can spread his legs that wide, it should be a higher note that he speaks at.
Yeah. Yeah, on them chairs. Yeah. Well, Van Damme, and who is it? He doesn't get along with the Russian guy that likes Russia so much. Gosh, he's really tall with the ponytail.
Ponytail.
Oh, the guy who played the Russian in one of the Rocky movies.
No, not him.
That's what I was thinking of.
Steven Seagal.
Steven
okay.
Seagal.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's a Russian citizen now, isn't he?
I think
Yeah.
is his heritage from Russia, maybe down the line. I don't know.
There were
No.
stories on him.
Yeah,
But
he's an interesting guy.
He
Yeah.
runs like a girl though, but I ain't gonna tell him. I'm gonna say, man, when you
Yeah.
were younger, you ran like a girl. Wow. You know, I'll be going, oh man.
No, he does a lot of hand and forearm shit.
Yeah. I liked the movie he was in Under Siege on the ship.
On the boat.
Jessica, Erica
Jessica Biel.
Eleniak, and it had Tommy.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Lee Jones.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was the best one. One.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah, I've heard different stories about Seagal. His movies are good, but I've heard different stories about him personally. Another person who did good movies that I don't watch, because and actually he probably will be like, and this is what you probably say in your head. You'd be like, yeah, I haven't heard of him or watched his movies in a while. And that's Wesley Snipes.
Oh yeah. Oh well, he had problems with the feds because
Taxes.
he didn't like paying taxes.
That's what they say, but don't they use that for everybody? Yes,
Maybe.
as a matter of fact, they do. I think that's how they're going after Mr. Hunter B, right? Yeah.
Yeah, well, he leans conservative, and so does Seagal.
No. There's another reason. If you research Mr. Snipes, and I never fucking watched any of these movies because of this, and this is actually the reason why he lost his position in Blade Runner or Blade, because of his religious affiliation.
Buddhism.
No, a special religion of African only, and they get to carry Uzis at the door.
Well, Seagal.
It's a real weird religion. It's been on FBI watch list for a very, very long time.
Well, it was all these women actresses were saying he was trying to do stuff to him. Hey, you want this part? You got to do that. Well, I don't know if I believe all that. I really don't. I just think certain
that's
people,
been going on forever. Hell, what's his name?
Oh, yeah.
Fucking, that child actor fucking exposed everybody about that.
Corey
Yeah, I
Feldman.
think.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
been going on forever. I mean, fuck. And here's one for you too. There's a federally funded by taxpayer money, $15 million a year fund to pay for the attorneys of congressmen who have sexual allegations brought up against them.
Well,
It sounds kind of like a free ride with a fucking lawyer of a $15 million retainer, huh?
Seagal was married to an 80s heartthrob, Kelly LeBrock.
Yeah.
She was on fire in the 80s.
Boy, howdy.
yeah, and she made a couple movies.
She did that movie for Whitesnake where she was danced on the car, didn't she?
Oh, that's Tawny Kitaen.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But she looked very similar.
Yeah, they had a similar look. Yeah, she was in Weird Science. She was in
Yeah.
she was in the movie with Gene Wilder where she
Lady in Red.
Lady in Red. Yeah, Yep, that was a good movie.
Yep. They so there's just no way. If my advice always has been, if you're an actor, don't marry another actor. If you're a singer, don't probably marry another singer, because
And
time
you,
takes to tour and stuff. You're going to grow apart.
you
and
saying
marriage
that,
is gonna work.
look at the WWE of today and all the wrestlers of the day and see who their spouses are in the wrestling world.
Well, I don't know why anybody in Hollywood or in music gets married, because their marriages don't last. Why did they even bother?
Well, sometimes they do it just to promote a movie they're in together. I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy stuff.
I
There's
like
no
the
way a marriage is
Bennons,
going to work if that's the reason.
Well, it's interesting.
Texas tornado.
This Travis Kelce, who's dating Taylor Swift, now that he's dating her, he's on, I think, Home Depot commercials. So I just wonder what if that's his motivation for dating her.
It's, you know,
I don't think she's that pretty. I just really don't. And I don't like her
Oh,
music.
I don't. Yeah, she's not my cup of tea in terms of looks or music, but the girls seem to like her.
Yeah.
yeah.
I would say that's the case, but
I like myself too much. I ain't found a girl that I'd turn myself over to.
Gerald
hey,
says
Cat,
Risky
should I get married?
Business was filmed near him in the early 80s.
Shit.
Gerald, funny story about that. So I wasn't in Illinois at the time, but I had a friend in my high school from Chicago, and he wanted to go to the University of Illinois, and so in Risky Business, Tom Cruise is trying to get into, I think, Princeton, one of the Ivies,
Mhm.
and so the guy comes and does the college interview while all the hookers are in Tom Cruise's house, and
Yeah.
so he thinks he blows it. He comes out of the room and goes, "Well, I guess I'm going to the University of Illinois." And I just cracked up. I was giving my buddy crap.
That's another movie. That's another actor I don't watch his movies. Tom Cruise and then Will Smith. I don't watch any of his movies.
Yeah, Will Smith.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Nickel. I was going to say he'd be hard for me to watch a movie of his after what I've seen recently.
Oh, there's been a lot about him. It's just this recently came out.
Well, Will Smith, the best one I like with him in it is the one with Gene Hackman. And it's called Gene Hackman because I like Gene Hackman. Enemy of the State. Now, that one was a good one. I got to say, that was a good movie.
I recall it, but I don't recall it that well. I'm going to have to rewatch that, even though I don't want to because it's got Will Smith in it.
Yeah, I don't like much. I didn't like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I did not.
No, I never watched that.
No, that was annoying.
I don't like his music. I think he used that to get in to acting. I don't think he really was that big a music person. If he was, he'd still be doing it, and I don't think he really does that anymore. So,
the one thing I'll say about his music is at least it was clean. As that type
You
of
got
music
that.
goes.
You got that, but I still don't like the guy.
well, but Gene Hackman, there ain't a movie he's done, but maybe one or two that I can say, I didn't really like that. I mean, pretty much I like everything he did.
Pretty much. The Chocolate Factory, Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory was a damn good one.
Yeah, Gerald, my buddy, was from Elmhurst, from the Chicago area.
But if you're going to talk about actors, why not talk about, what's his name? Jack Nicholson.
There's some movies I like he did. The one who flew with the cuckoo nest, that was a good one.
There's
That
some
was
great.
sad, though. That was really sad.
Because how he died and the Indian dude
Yeah,
fell over his head.
yeah.
But still overall, it was a bunch of future stars in that movie. Good.
It was a great movie. It was incredible acting.
That's what I'm saying. As an actor, he really fucking hell. He did. Didn't he do
A Few Good Men.
Shining. He did The Shining.
The
The
Shining.
Shining?
He did too, where he was
Shining.
private investigator. I love both of those. Chinatown and
And the Joker. He did the Joker.
yeah. He was
As a
pretty
matter
good.
of
Wouldn't
fact,
they get a load of me?
he actually, here's some trivia. He gave Heath Ledger, I think it was, who played the Joker. He gave him some advice that Heath didn't follow that probably led to Heath's suicide. That Jack told him to do, and he didn't do it when he.
And
played
the movie he played the gangster with dang, what was that called? The Departed. That was actually a pretty good movie, I thought.
Now, the one he did with Diane Keaton, that was cringy. Where they were kind of in love at the end. I mean, very, very cringy.
When he in terms of endearment.
Well,
Yeah,
no. That was a good movie. That was well done. Shirley MacLaine, not Diane Keaton. That was. I mean, that was some. I think Shirley MacLaine got an Oscar for that.
Now he's talking about Clint Eastwood was mentioned by Art Collector. Let me tell you about Clint Eastwood. He don't act. Clint Eastwood is Clint Eastwood. I mean,
Clint Eastwood, he became a mayor and took that job seriously and did a great freaking job at it and got shit on by the fucking media after that for doing a good job that no one else could have done a better job than he.
But he's won all sorts of accolades as a director. Now, here's the question.
Dude, that guy's off the hook. If you gotta step back and look at the movie industry at the time and the narrative they were selling, he didn't fall in line. So they
they said he was too violent. He was too violent, but
man, that motherfucker threw out some real good fucking movies.
Okay, so here's the question, guys. What are your favorite Clint Eastwood movies? The first one that comes to mind to me and my go-to is Kelly's Heroes.
Yeah.
That's a good one. But I think Two Mules for Sister Sarah is my favorite. But
that's another good one.
He made cool, so he's kind of like a cool guy.
But then again, was that where he made paint the town red?
Oh yes, that's my number 2. That's High Plains Drifter. That's
High Plains Drifter. Movie. Yeah, that was a badass movie.
Remember the little midget he's leaving? He says, "I never got your name." He said,
"You want to make a movie, make you think. That movie will make you think, and it's a good movie."
He said, "You know, something like that." So
you know my name, and the midget kind of shudders like he realizes he was the sheriff's brother.
Yep, he's like, "Holy fuck, man! Am I seeing something here?" All right, you guys paint the town red. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gran Torino was good too, Art. That was a very good movie.
Yeah, he told that one guy come up behind him and he said, "You're gonna look like funny with a knife stuck in your ass."
Mel Gibson has had a great career until he told the truth.
Yeah.
Damn the bad luck. Kind of like my channel was growing like a motherfucker until I got strike after strike after strike for telling the truth. So now I just don't talk about the truth. So that way I won't get a strike.
We're talking code, Neil.
Yeah.
Like cough instead of saying a certain disease.
Exactly.
You know?
Or hey, you could even go by the proper name, but add beer behind it and call it a Corona beer.
The cerveza sickness. I like that one.
I personally
Salmon uses that.
I like the idea of calling it what it is, a Corona, and then call it beer, because that'll make the beer company fucking want to make the elites make it go away, so they'll quit affecting their business.
How about Harrison Ford? What's his best character role? Han Solo.
Oh, come on, man. Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Star Wars was a great movie, but Indiana Jones was all Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
To me, it'll always be A New Hope, because that was the first time I ever saw him.
Oh, really? You didn't see him in that 50s? What was it? Oh, shit. He was a carpenter. American Graffiti. Thank you very much. He was a carpenter back then.
I did, but, he wasn't that memorable to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I like the story behind that movie. It was like a last minute thing. He took a job because he was actually a carpenter.
Yeah. He worked on
And
the
he
set.
would have never been a movie star had he not taken that job. And he didn't want to take that job because he was a carpenter. And he stressed, I'm a carpenter.
And I'll tell you
I'm not an
hey,
actor.
Star Wars, that was considered way before its time. They thought it would bomb. Nobody thought it was going to be successful. They had to pay the
Don't
guy
tell
that
me
did
you didn't
Obi-Wan
watch
Kenobi a
Indiana
lot of money to
Jones
do it
about
because
4
he thought it was going to
times.
kill his career. So they had a lot of problems there, and he took that role, and I mean, it paid off big time. So he was very lucky
Indiana
twice.
Jones is bigger for him than Star Wars.
Yeah, because he was the lead.
Yeah, and they've got 5 movies out on that.
Is that right? That's how many Indiana Jones are in
Yeah.
the series now? 5?
Yeah,
I haven't
and
seen
he's
the
in
last
all of
2.
them. That's like the most money-making movie series that's ever been done.
Patriot Games was a pretty good movie.
Patriot
How many
Games.
times did he play Jack Ryan? Was it once or twice?
Jack Ryan. Okay.
Well, that was Patriot Games, right?
Patriot Games was the movie. I think they had a series about it.
Yeah.
They did have a second movie about him, about Jack
Well,
Ryan.
Knucklehead took over the role that shot and killed the woman.
The Jack Ryan now is the guy from The Office. What's his name? The guy who played he played in the series The Office, John something.
Not sure.
And then the guy that was in Saving Private Ryan, Hanks. You got to admit,
That's one movie.
but you got to admit he could do both serious and comedy the same. He's a very talented guy. He is.
Because I can tell you, man, I've said this once. I don't know if you guys were actually here, but if you remember the Allstate commercial where they said the good hands people, and you had that where you had that in the middle. You see that? See the crack? I always told people, I'd always fall through that crack. And you talk about Private Ryan. The whole premise behind Private Ryan was to get this one dude out because his brothers had already died. And the American law was 2 brothers can't be in the same war. Strike that bullshit. Not only can I go into the military for 18 months, get an honorable discharge because of a breach of contract of Congress, and then illegally get called back for 4 months and get another honorable discharge, I can do it and be sent to the same war in the same war zone as my only brother. And on top of that, not have a GED or high school equivalent until 2 years after that. So I served twice, once in time of war with my brother in the same war. They broke so many laws against me. It's pathetic. That was before I was 3.
The best Hanks movie was Road to Perdition. I thought that was his best. I really liked that one. And then there's Denzel Washington. I mean, a horror movie he makes I don't like. You know,
I like that movie from Denzel where he was like recreating the Bible, rewriting it or something.
No, that was when people got possessed and stuff like that. Is what you're talking about?
No,
I can't remember the name of that one.
I like the series where he's the vigilante righting all the wrongs. I can't remember the name of the series, but that's pretty wicked. And he gets into a situation and he starts his watch because he times it.
They've given Denzel some fucking roles that make him a very badass character.
He did the Manchurian Candidate, the remake.
Yeah.
He did Follow 1, 2, 3. He did a remake on that. Runaway Train, Deja Vu.
He's done quite a bit. The Book of Enoch? No,
Yeah.
it's not. Is it the Book of Enoch?
Yeah, that's the one where like he goes around and he has to kill a bunch of people. Yeah,
that book, that movie I liked.
And then he also did one with Julia Roberts, the Pelican Brief. That's a good one.
That was really a good one. Here's something to talk about. Art mentioned something about Mark Wahlberg. What about these motherfuckers that kind of look like, an average person, then come up and do these like the guy from Thor or Mark Wahlberg, all of a sudden buff the fuck up like they're twice as big as a normal human being, and then go back to normal size.
Like they've taken steroids?
I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm just asking.
Well, I like him in The Shooter.
Yeah, The Shooter was a great movie.
And then there was one where he was in the forces, and he's the only one that survives, and I forget what was that movie called. And dang, I can't remember what that was, but that was a good one. Can't remember what it was called though.
And you know, I used to look and be able to look at a guy, a big motherfucker, and tell if he was on steroids just by the look of him, whether it was the knots in the veins or the knots on the stomach. Certain different things you could look for a guy on steroids. But on those two actors, I've not seen that sign. But I do know there's new types of steroids out there.
He was also in the Dearly Departed, or The Departed, because he was that cop and kills the other cop at the end, and because he kills all the other guys, and then he has all that stuff on, so they can't. He knew what to do in order not to ever be proven he did it at the very end. He was pretty good in that one too. So,
I tell you, this isn't a huge star, but a movie and a guy I liked in a movie it's called Wind River, and it was Jeremy Renner. That is an awesome movie if you ever have a chance to watch it. It's based out in Wyoming, and it's a there's an unsolved murder on a Indian reservation, so it's definitely worth a watch.
And then also there's who's that guy I'm just thinking of? Oh, Bruce Willis. He had some pretty good ones, but all the Die Hards were pretty good. I feel like he did a pretty good job keeping that going.
Oh yeah,
Die Harder,
Die Harder 1, 2, 3,
Die Hard
with a Vengeance. No, he ran it out. I think one that's underrated as dog hell is Fool's Gold.
You know, Billy Batgate, he was that one too, wasn't he? And he when the gangster.
No one's ever heard of Fool's Gold.
And
it had Matthew McConaughey and Goldie Hawn's daughter.
Elizabeth Hudson, Kate Hudson.
Kate Hudson, yeah. Oh, I fucking love Fool's Gold, man. If it's ever a rainy day and you're glum, not thinking anything will cheer you up, watch Fool's Gold. You will laugh your freaking ass off every time. I've seen that movie probably 30 times. I still watch it.
I'm trying to think that other movie he was in. Let me see. The one he played where he was dead. He didn't know it, and the little kid saw dead people. What was that called?
I See Dead People.
No, that's what he tells him. I see dead people, and then he finally found at the end he was dead. It was all about him being dead and all. I forget what they called it. Some kind of seventh. No, it wasn't 7 cents.
That would be a reason to see the dead people.
Morgan Freeman and the guy that was married to Jolie. Brad Pitt. That one, what was that called? Was it 7?
Dude.
Oh yeah.
Who cares about that? Who thinks Brad Pitt was a freaking moron for not staying with Jennifer Anderson?
I don't know. She never did nothing for me. And of course, Jolie didn't either. I don't think either one of them.
Dude, at 50, I'd take Angelina Jolie over most 20-year-olds.
All right, but you can. But congratulations.
She is still hot.
Yeah, but bats spit crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Comes with the territory. She grew up in Hollywood.
Yeah, Jennifer Aniston seems like the girl next door.
Yeah. Just don't watch what was that movie? Hold on.
Where she was dating
Obsessed.
the supermarket guy?
No, where the girl fucking was obsessed with the guy, like cooked this rabbit and shit like that.
Oh, you're thinking of the Michael Douglas film.
Yeah.
That was Glenn Close. Yeah, that was the bunny boiler.
Yeah, that was awful. You know,
that was horrible.
Yeah, but he's good. He's good. He's good. He's not his dad. His dad was more of an action kind of guy. I like his dad better. But yeah, Michael Douglas is pretty good. Most of the films he's in are pretty good. They're always suspense, but they he does pretty good on them.
What's the one where he was with the gal who liked ice picking guys?
That is
Sharon Stone.
Yeah, Sharon Stone and him. Basic Instinct.
Basic Instinct. Wow.
Yeah. Crazy bitch.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, that made Angelina Jolie look like the girl next door.
No shit.
And that was a pretty good one.
What do you think about instead of all these actors you've been talking about? How about Sean Connery and his career? And all
my God, yeah,
all the movies and shit he's done and still doing.
But he's dead. Great.
Sean Connery just died?
Yeah, he's been dead for about 2 years now.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
See,
COVID kept me all kinds of locked up.
Oh man.
He was he transitioned well from a lead to a character actor because he was in a movie with Charlize Theron where he was more of a character actor and did a great job. I can't remember what that movie.
What about A League of Gentlemen?
Is that the movie you're thinking of, Neil?
No, for Sean Connery being in, that didn't really, you wouldn't think would be a role that he did good in, though.
He was good in Highlander, and he was good.
He was damn good in Highlander. Of course, he's Scottish, so,
Yeah, and he was good in the Bond movies, but he wasn't my favorite Bond. I will say that.
Was Roger Moore? See, that's funny because it's kind of you talk to a lot of people and they're like Connery, and I like Connery, but I thought Moore was wittier.
Yes,
that's what
and better looking.
Let's see, I had a problem with Roger Moore, but it's more a personal perspective problem that I had with him that I don't want to say on a recorded video.
He's dead too, so you're okay.
No, it's about what people will think if I say shit, so I don't want to say it and have it on. But I didn't like Roger Moore.
Okay.
Oh, he made a bunch of good movies.
Neil didn't like Roger Moore for an undisclosed reason.
Yeah. So Sean Connery was the man as far as I was concerned. And now when they came up with that blonde Bond, that dude was pretty good.
Oh yeah. Roger Craig.
Yeah, I thought they should have stuck with him.
He's phenomenal.
I think they should have.
He's a different. Okay, so interesting discussion. I thought all the Bonds before him were kind of half lighthearted movies where I could watch them over and over and over. His are intense.
Fuck yeah.
They're not, it's not like watching The Spy Who Loved Me or something which I can watch 80 times.
From Russia with Love.
Yeah, From Russia with Love, Thunderball.
Cannonball or Moonraker.
I can watch those over and over, but these new ones, they're awesome, but I only can watch them once because they're intense. So intense.
They're intense for sure.
So intense. He's a great actor.
He did a great job. But you got to, at the time he made it, you had to keep up with all the speedster type movies and what's that guy with the bald head who did? He's still doing movies. Actually, he's doing race movies.
Moonraker might have been Moore's best. I don't know.
No. You think Moonraker's the best?
I think
Live and Let Die, maybe. I think Live and Let Die is probably my favorite.
Man with the Golden Gun. That's my favorite. The Man
Golden
with the
Gun's good too. Yeah. I mean, I liked all of them. I liked Spy Who Loved Me. I like Spy Who Loved Me because Barbara Bach.
And she was in Octopussy too.
Octopussy was.
Octopus.
No, one was in two of them. Octopussy.
No, that was Maude Adams.
Yeah, she was in two. She was in two of them.
Yeah, she was, but not Barbara Bach. Maude Adams was in two. I can't remember the other one she was in, but she was in two.
Yeah, if I got to pick, I would pick Moore first, Connery second, And those are the James Bond movies I like to watch the most.
Yeah. Now, the Craig did a great job of repairing the franchise from Timothy Dalton and Pierce Brosnan. I think they took it down several notches.
Yeah, I don't like Brosnan. I don't like hardly anything he's in.
Well,
He seems
when-
so
When
wimpy. You know,
when they announced he was going to be Bond, I said, no way, he's not masculine enough. There's one he was in where he was an art thief with Rene Russo, which was an awesome movie, and that fits his intellect and his, you know, masculinity, I think, well, or lack thereof. But that was an awesome movie, but I didn't think he was fit for the Bond role.
Well,
Yeah, I didn't agree.
the good
I didn't
thing
agree
about
either.
the Bond thing is, I think more recently they've shown that Bond is not a guy; it's a position in the British Secret Service, and different people throughout history play that role, and they bring different things to the game field when they're there. Because I agree, not all of them are like the blonde Bond, where they're all fucking action-packed shit, or Sean Connery smooth drinking fucking champagne with a tuxedo on kind of spy thing. You know, there's different actors bring a different style to the Bond that show that Bond is not a person. Because when I started first watching Bond, I was a kid, man. It was only, hell, I think Roger, the Queen's Spy or something like that was the first one, but it wasn't Roger Moore, and then Roger Moore did.
I think it was Dr. No, I think was the
No. It was the Queen.
Her Majesty's Secret Service was
Her Majesty's Secret Service.
No,
It was the
but
very first
that
James
was
Bond.
that was the one between
Yes.
Connery and Moore. That was the other guy.
Yeah, he was the
Yeah.
first. He was the first James Bond. He's not the other guy. He's the original first.
No,
Then
Lazenby
came
was the
Roger
second.
Moore.
Moore was the
between Moore and Connery, this other guy did one.
George Lazenby.
Yeah.
He was the second. But I think Dr. No, it was either Dr. No or Goldfinger were the first Bond movie.
I just think that Roger Moore did a better job of the character that I wanted to see as a spy for the British Secret Service than Roger Moore did.
Well, Remington
Roger Moore
Steele,
seemed to.
the other guy did
But
so
see, now you also have to understand, I was living in Scotland, and they were portraying Roger Moore. To me personally, portrayed more of an Englishman than Roger Moore did.
Oh, here's an interesting thing. I'm looking up
That other cat did, not Roger Moore. Roger Moore over Sean Connery.
I'm looking up the Bond series on in Wikipedia, and I did not realize. So George Lazenby came in after Connery, but then Connery did another one after Lazenby. He did the last.
Never say never.
No. Okay, so that's another
That was a good one.
story.
I like that.
Diamonds Are Forever. He did On Her Majesty's Secret Service was in '69. Diamonds Are Forever was '71. But then Sean Connery came back and did Never Say Never back in the early '80s.
Never
Yeah,
say
and
never.
Mr. Bean was in that. You remember?
I don't remember Mr.
He played his
Bean.
helper, and he always doing
But
goofy stuff. That was before. I think it's before he was Mr. Bean, but he
Again,
was in that movie.
it shows that James Bond isn't a character; it's a job.
Oh, actually, you know what? My favorite Moore one was For Your Eyes Only.
Man, most of them were real good, bro. Most of the Roger Moore, Sean Connery's were good. Roger Moore's I didn't like.
I think that's the one with the mod chick. I think she was in that one, and she was in Octopussy. I think that's the two she was in.
No, it was a French gal in For Your Eyes Only. What was her name? Carol Bouquet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 60 years of Bond. You can't have the same guy playing 60 years spy. Everyone knows who he is except for first five.
I think they'll make the future James Bond gay. That's what I think. Be political.
That's why I didn't like Roger Moore, because he was.
Now he was married for years. I mean,
Sure he was.
I doubt he was gay.
Yeah, sure he was.
Nah, I find that hard to believe. He was
Yeah, okay.
suave. He was funny.
Uh-huh,
He was the best Bond.
uh-huh.
I mean, he
Yep.
was.
I'm sure he was.
Oh, okay. So Maud Adams was in The Man with the Golden Gun, and she was
Okay.
also an Octopussy. So that
Okay.
Man,
All
Man
right.
with the
Well,
Golden Gun was the movie, the first one. I forgot she was in that.
yeah, the Man with the Golden Gun. That's good. That's a good one. It's got the little midget from Fantasy Island in it.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy.
Boss, the plane.
The plane.
He puts him in a suitcase at the end. You remember?
That's right. Yeah, I
That's
forgot
funny.
that. Yeah.
But the best villain was Jaws. And when they did away with Jaws, I said, "Man, you've lost something," because they never did replace him a villain good enough to take his spot. And that's what made Roger Moore so good. He always had Jaws as the villain trying to kill him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he had the
had-
same villain for like 3 movies.
He had Jaws and The Spy Who Loved Me and Moonraker.
Wasn't he in 3 movies as a villain?
I know he was in 2. I don't know about the 3rd.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you about that.
He shocked him with that lamp in that one. Remember?
Oh yeah, those metal teeth of his.
Yeah. Moonraker. Actually, I just saw a funny meme. Speaking of Moonraker, remember the blonde that fell for
Oh
him?
yeah, the one that stayed on the space station with him.
Yeah. I saw a meme about her, and someone said, "Hey, weren't you the girl that's in Moonraker? Except for you had braces." That was funny. It made me think of Moonraker, obviously.
Oh, but yeah, there's.
Yeah. So what's are there any good new movies? That's the
No,
There has not been
I
a
don't. I
good
do not watch
movie
new
in
movies.
yeah. I didn't think
20
so.
years, man. They're all remakes. Hey, let's remake the Titanic for the 7th time.
No,
They're
you want to
either
tell what the real problem is? Too much
remade or
special
they're
effects.
woke.
There's too much special effects. The whole movie is special effects
Well,
now when you go
that's,
with
that's
see.
true too.
So, no acting. You don't have to have it. Just have special effects. People want to be wowed. So,
There's no good stories being told either, so that helps.
Gerald doesn't want any. I'll just say it this way: Alphabet 007. The first letter starts with L.
I do like Christian Bale. I do like him. Most of the movies he does, I do like. But what's the last movie he's done? I mean, I'm not even sure he's doing much now. But Equilibrium, have you seen that one? That's an most excellent science fiction movie. It's really good.
How about Weird Science? That's another Kelly LeBrock movie.
Yeah. And for its time, it's cheesy now if you watch it. But for its time, it was good.
Yeah.
But it's cheesy as hell now. But it's like early 80s, mid 80s flick.
And the Star Trek movies were decent. I like, but they got political.
yeah.
But I do like
Yeah.
The Wrath of Khan. You can't get much
Oh, the
better
Wrath
movie than
of
that.
Khan's the best.
Yeah.
I mean, Ricardo Montalban, speaking of
Yeah.
the island, he was the perfect villain in that movie.
Now, what someone should have done is they should have done like a weird Al Alkovich, whatever the fuck his name was, on the Wrath of Khan, and brought back fucking the little guy who said zip-plane, and put Wrath of Khan in with him and mixed it up. That would have been funny as fuck.
Hervé Villachez, I think.
Yeah, make him part of Khan's crew. Do a Weird Al Yankovic type movie.
Now the Star Trek with the bald-headed dude, the English guy, I don't really like those. I never was a new.
Oh, Jean-Luc Picard.
Yeah, I didn't like them. I didn't really watch those. I did watch the one with Shatner was in that he gets blown out into space. I did watch that one. But Shatner is Captain Kirk. He is Star Trek, to me. So
Yeah, he's the franchise. Gerald's saying he's got to watch Lone Survivor with Mark Wahlberg.
okay, Lone Survivor. I think that's the one where there's 3 of them in this. They're in this outfit, and I guess they're snipers. And then the others two get killed. He survives, and I think that's the one he's talking about. That's the one I think I watched.
Oh, Lone Survivors. Yes, it's the one in Afghanistan. That's phenomenal. That's a phenomenal movie. Until you mentioned it, Viking, I didn't remember it.
Yeah, I like that one.
I don't care for fucking war movies, Middle Eastern war movies, anyhow. Now, if they had a nice war movie where he like took over a desert island and built like defense means of hammocks and drinks, I'd watch that one.
A leisurely war movie, Neil.
Yeah.
Well, there is one kind
Hey,
of like that.
we're gonna defeat cold.
So,
How are we going to defeat cold? We're going to take over a deserted island and enjoy our life in the fucking nice, warm, fucking tropical wind.
What's the one?
A big old umbrella drink for Neil.
Fuck yeah, baby.
There is one military movie when they're in the desert. They have the water well. It's empty, but the other side doesn't know it. And they're trying to hold off the Germans, and the Germans have no water, and they end up surrendering to them, but they have no water in the well, but they think it is. What is the name of that movie? It was pretty good, actually.
Good psychological
What, a
fucking.
World War II movie, Viking?
Yeah, it was World War II. Yeah,
That's
I
when
don't
you
know.
make the Germans dig
Tell
the
me.
fucking
I gotta
well
watch it.
deeper.
I don't remember
I can't remember, but it was a couple big name stars in it, but I can't remember now what it was called. They usually put it on Memorial Day. They run it sometimes. And most of them get killed, but a couple of them survive, and they make that whole. I don't know how many Germans it is, but it's like I don't think it's a platoon, but it's a whole bunch of them. And they finally give up because they're gonna die because they ain't got no water, and they think they have it in that well. And then by the time it all happens, the reserves come in, and then of course they can't do nothing then.
So Art's asking if we like the old History Channel documentaries. I would say, heck yeah.
Well, that's so funny. No,
I have watched.
it's a pretty good one. So, but you know, and there's John Wayne. Nobody mentioned John Wayne. Man,
Jan Wayne? You ever seen Jan Wayne?
Gosh, what's the one with John Wayne, Glenn Campbell?
That is the True Grit.
True Grit, yeah.
Have you ever seen Jan Wayne?
Jan Wayne. What is he? Scandinavian?
The Oriental. Jan Wayne. And
Was
that was
that
his
Wayne
name.
or Wayne?
And he came to America, and everyone was like, John Wayne. Yeah, Jan Wayne.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, fuck,
you're
movie, bro.
you're out west.
Yeah. Oriental guy named Jan Wayne. Ah, yeah, John Wayne. Jan Wayne, yeah.
I thought Rooster Cogburn was better than True Grit. I like True Grit, but I thought Rooster Cogburn was better.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Let's see here.
Yeah, Art. I was just watching on YouTube a documentary on the Assyrian Empire, and that was fascinating. So I don't watch much History Channel. I don't have cable TV anymore. I cut the cord years ago, but I watch a lot of documentaries on YouTube, and I watched one, like I say, on the Assyrian Empire, and that was fascinating.
I watched one I think was over there, the Impaler.
Vlad the Impaler. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was a good one.
Yeah.
And one dude was eating with him. He said, "How can you stand this?" Because these people were dead. I guess they were starting to stink. So he got mad and he impaled that guy.
Vlad Turpis was his name, and they called him Vlad the Impaler because he would he would impale when he won against the Ottomans.
There's a big story to that.
Impaled tens of thousands.
He actually saved
cut the noses off of one some people he beat. He cut their noses off and sent them back one time. He was a mean dude.
He was desperate.
He was trying to stem the flood,
He was desperate.
stem the tide.
And
I like the World War II ones. I watched those about
lost
the
his
general.
old lady.
Yeah, well, like I say, gosh, it's late. What was the Clint Eastwood one I mentioned? Kelly's Heroes.
Yeah,
That's a
well,
good
he
movie.
also where Eagles Dare too. He did that one with
Yeah.
Bert.
You guys know the real story of Jake McNeese,
I don't even know who Jake Manise is.
the Dirty Dozen, the movie The Dirty Dozen.
No.
You've never seen the movie The Dirty Dozen?
I had
No, I know the movie. I don't know the story of Jake McNeese.
Okay, Jake McNeese. They made the movie because of him. He was the Dirty Dozen. He actually had a squad of 13 guys in World War II, and he made it through several. He actually is the only guy who jumped 3 times into combat zones during World War II. After they say if you jump twice, you got a free ride home. He jumped 3 times. If you read his story, he was the origin. He was like the leader of the original Dirty Dozen in World War II. His real name's Jake McNeese.
Okay.
They based the story on him. And of course, highlighted it, made it better for Hollywood and shit. But
Yeah, Gerald brought up another Clint Eastwood movie more in the Cold War era, Foxfire. Now,
Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of that movie.
nah,
thought
I
it was
really
a
didn't
little
like that
cheesy.
one.
Thought it was a
It
little
was
cheesy. Improbable.
he was trying to make a switch out of westerns into something else, and that just didn't work right, in my
Well,
opinion.
he stole this Soviet super fighter. Remember?
Yeah,
yeah.
an invisible
Oh.
one or something.
Oh, and then
He
he
had to think
refueled
Germany,
in the
think Russia.
Arctic. He refueled in the Arctic. They made a landing strip on the ice, and a nuclear sub refueled him.
Yeah,
Forgot about that part.
and he said, "Am I
Okay.
speaking to Mr. Gantz?" And he
Okay.
said, "Yeah,
Gerald
you are in
just
a lot
men-
of trouble, Mr. Gantz." And he told him
Gerald-
to come back, and he said, "I'm afraid I can't do that."
Gerald just did bingo. The Magnificent Seven.
That was good.
Oh my gosh! I mean, look at all the stars it had in it. Yul Brynner. I mean, gosh, I was loaded. I think almost all 7 of them were stars.
James Colburn, the guy Charles Bronson, which I
Yeah.
always liked
Charles Bronson.
He was a tough dude.
He
Yeah.
really was. He was a war hero.
What about that bald guy,
Yul
Charles
Brynner.
Wallace,
Yul Brynner?
Yul
Yul
Brynner.
Brynner. Yeah.
It had Yul Brynner, Eli Wallach, Steve McQueen, Charles
Yeah.
Bronson, Robert Vaughn, Horst Buchholz, Brad Dexter, and James Coburn.
Yeah. Some good shit, man. It's a good movie, good actors. Cheap sets.
What do you say? Oh, Clyde, every which way but loose, every which way you can.
Right turn, Clyde.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna call it a night.
All right.
Yeah,
I
I think the cat's
appreciate-
calling you, saying, "Get off of there, man." That's what the
I
cat's saying.
I think that's my cat.
Oh,
Yeah, no, my cats have been running around crazy. I think one just jumped. Yeah, I got one that jumped in.
I don't know if you hear it, but my cat can actually say hello. It's rah, but that's what he's calling me. He's saying it's time to be fed for night.
Yeah, I got these guys running all around me, acting cats crazy. But anyhow, you guys have a great evening. Thank you
All
very
right,
much
guys.
for stepping
Great
up. Sorry,
chatting with you.
sorry, Ninja didn't show up, but he was delayed on several flights leaving Montana. So
it's 1 a.m. here. 10 p.m. That's young. It's 1 a.m. here.
all right, you guys take care. Thank you for showing up, and I'll chat with y'all later.
See y'all later.
Peace
Bye.
out.